First thing on the docket, I ran one of my first functional flex prints. Hey, a boy DNA, me. Oh, no. Looks like that. You know what? I think it was just spam. I got all excited. We had another viewer, and I think it was just spam. But we'll see. I've got no moderation. It's just on auto moderating right now. And frankly, I don't expect really anybody to join us anyway. So we'll just see. It's the Wild West here. Anyway, let's get back to it. Let's talk TPU. So this is one of the first real practical TPU prints I did today, and I actually set it to run overnight because if you've ever run flexible, you know that it is slow, or it can be slow. It'll probably start slow, considering it takes a while to get it tuned and dialed in, and so I just opted to just take it slow, run it overnight. It was a small print. It was your standard iPhone case that you see a lot of people run a print in when they're first trying it out. And I gotta say, I was completely stoked with the results. How do I keep this thing moving here? So I set it up on the big box, which you're seeing right behind me here. That's E3D's attempt at doing a Kickstarter, or well, doing a printer, and unfortunately it is now defunct. But hey, Cowboy's in the house. What is up? Well, I don't need to chat. I can actually see you here. Sorry, it's a little bit delayed. Welcome, Cowboy. Tonight we're talking TPU, slicing unicorns, and maybe we're gonna have a snack. I'm realizing now I probably should have gone pee before I started this, but this is me completely unprepared. But hey, we got it going. I had to download some software. I learned a new piece of software. I'm learning what this OBS is. I'm sure there's all kinds of extra cool stuff that I can do with it. But for right now, we're going one camera, one mic. I'm hoping you can hear me okay and I'm not yelling too loud. But anyway, we're saying, talking TPU, did a really cool print that wasn't an eraser or a flexible octopus. I've had it on my phone all day. It's a success. I haven't actually dropped my phone yet. Audio is kind of low. Okay, Tony, hold on a sec here. You gotta bear with me, dude. I'm a total noob at the streaming thing here. I'm gonna boost it up here like this. We're gonna go to like a -3. I just don't want to blow it out. Let me see if I bring it up here. Is Tony, is that any better for you, buddy? It could be. It's probably me. It's not you, it's me. I bet you hear that all the time, right? No? I don't want to have to be all up in the I don't want to have to be all up in the mic. I could probably boost it a little bit on the system pref side too. It looks like here. How about this? How about we do a little of this? Am I getting? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Okay. I got a curly-haired. What's up, man? 911 giving me a curly-haired. We'll see. That guy might be spam. I don't know. I got five viewers. Who knew, right? Better. Chris likes it. Chris, I appreciate you being my biggest fan. I hope you don't mind if I call you Chris and not Dr. McCoy. We'll keep the formality for tomorrow when we're down at Printrbots. Getting some background noise. You know what that is? I turned on the alpha and I got the... You're not spam? I'm sorry. What's up, man? I'm glad to hear you're not spam. Welcome. Chris is fine. Okay, good to know. Hold on a sec, Chris. Let me let's shut down the alpha for a second here. And we'll see if that's any better. And you know what else? My wife turned on the whole house fan too, so that might be humming away. Any better? What are you thinking, Curtis? You want me to like work on this audio a little bit more? It went away. You know what it was? It was that buzzing. I got a the extruder fan is going out on my my Delta over there. That's the I call it the beta now, but it's made by Hatchbox, the same people that bring you the most popular filament on Amazon. Okay, so now What's Up Man here's nothing. Well, that's a bummer. But Chris says it's good. So I wonder if I'm having streaming issues or... Oh, wait, maybe he hears no interference. What's up, man? Are you hearing, like, no audio, period? Or are you hearing no buzzing? Plywood, yeah. It's not plywood. Well, I guess it's plywood. I don't know, it's laser cut. You know, it might not look like much, but the thing's a beast, actually. You'd be surprised. Okay, Chris can still hear. Audio's okay. Background. Okay, cool. Good. No background noise. Buzzing is all right. We're getting dialed. We're getting dialed now, right? This is good. Just in time for me to go to bed. Hold on a second here. I want to make sure. Oh no, that's too close. That's too close. All right. All right. All right. All right. We've been jumping all over the place, people. You guys are good sports. I appreciate you guys hanging with. I'm gonna do better next time. I'm gonna figure out OBS ahead of time and see if I can't get a little bit better lighting and audio setup. I'll get my wireless lav going. Loving the energy. Yeah, I know, right? And I haven't had any caffeine since like 3 o'clock, so that's good. Who has time? Not me, man. I don't have time for bed. I was saying to Tinkers earlier, like, no, I was saying to Mike, we're doing the Make the Maker thing together, where we're getting up and running, and he's doing jump roping like crazy and all that stuff, and yeah. So I'm like a shark. I live the life like a shark. I got to keep moving, or I'm gonna die, and I got to eat everything in my path, right? So that's the plan. It is. These are the productive hours, cowboy. That's spoken like a true dad right there, because if you have kids, you know that a lot of the day is taken up, running around, taking care of them, avoiding them sometimes. No, I'm kidding. But I work from home, and so inside it gets a little crazy in here, especially over the summertime. And so we sometimes I gotta take a hike. I actually worked at the Starbucks today, just to get out of the house a little bit, to try to get my head down and get some web development work done, which is what I do professionally, semi-professional. I guess professionally, people pay me to do it, and that's the only way I make money outside of my Repkord venture as well. But again, I digress. So, oh man, Tony, you got a M3D Pro and it's already broke? You think it's broke, or maybe it's not. Well, I'm hoping it's not for you, man. Okay, so Tony's living like a sloth. All right, let's move on. Let's talk TPU, because I was really excited about that. I was starting to say, like, I had this running overnight. I was running at 10 millisecond, which is super slow, tedious to watch. It's almost painful, right? You get it on there, but when you're first messing with the flex, first of all, you got to have the right gear. And I've already gotten in a bunch of arguments with Cowboy and some other people about Bowdens and whether or not you can print flex. Yes, you can print flex on a Delta with a Bowden or a Bowden setup, period. But why would you if you have a better option? And actually, the answer to that is maybe you don't have a better option, and so you're just crazy. I like to say, like, you can use a screwdriver as a chisel, but it's not necessarily a good choice either. So, right tool for the job. I love my big box over there. It's I got it set up as a dual direct drive. Right now, I've just got one head in it. I don't know if you can see up here, but I've got a little basket, and I'll pull out the second extruder sometimes. And I don't know if that really does anything, but I like keep that carriage a little bit lighter, because its downside is when you're dual extruding, it's got a lot of mass there. It's got to move around. So, hey, cowboy. But anyway, running slow print, set it going last night, and I was fully expecting to wake up to just a pile of spaghetti or air printing or any of the normal stuff that that I wake up to. But I woke up and I checked. I have Octoprint set up on that thing, so I looked on my phone, and, just to see, and lo and behold, on the build plate was something that resembled what I intended to print, and I said, "This is going to be a glorious day," right? Because I love starting the day with a successful print. You know that your day is going to be good when you wake up to something nice on the bed. And I'm not going to say that it was perfect. I'm not going to say it was perfect because, it was pretty stringy. I didn't have the retraction quite right. I dial that retraction to like almost nothing because I would rather have the stringing. I can deal with stringing. I can cut it out and stuff. And it wasn't terrible. I got some shots of it, and I'll share some tweets, or maybe I'll actually cut together a video at some point. But it was just a little bit of spider webbing here and there, and then all the the bridges and stuff were a little bit rough, but nothing a little hobby knife couldn't fix. And I gotta tell you, man, there's something there. Let me find my hobby knife. I stabbed myself with it earlier, and then I probably threw it across the room. I don't know where it is, but it's super satisfying, like cleaning up flex with a hobby knife. It just kind of cut. You're not like carving the way it is with like a PLA or an ABS or something like that. It's just nice and smoothly, and you can kind of follow the contours and all that stuff. It's really just satisfying. So anyway, the guy that did this model, and this is on Thingiverse. I tweeted about it earlier. It was today's make of the day, but did a just spot on job. This thing is dialed, right? So I upgraded to a plus. This is not the 7. That'd be completely retarded to go to that, I think, at this point where they're just about to launch the 8. But and plus I really wanted the audio jack because I've got like an exterior, like a shotgun mic and a lav mic that goes with it and stuff, and I wanted to keep that audio jack. So I went to the 6S Plus, which I'm sure you Android people are going to be like, yeah, you Apple fanboy. But I mean, look at how well that fits in there. I mean, it just snaps in and out of there. It's solid. I feel confident in this thing. And I mean, like, what a great practical print, because we constantly as makers get harassed by the non-believers. They're like, oh yeah, oh great, so you got a 3D printer, oh you can print fidget spinners, good for you. Like my kids call it the fidget spinner machine because that's all they really want to ever get out of it. But I gotta say, getting a good practical print that I'll use every day. I mean, this thing is gonna stay on there to the point where it's just gonna get crusted and nasty and all that stuff, and that's good. And if it breaks or if it fails, I don't think it will. I mean, it's pretty robust. I've been pulling and tugging on this. I gave it to my son to try to tear apart, and I mean, it's just, you can mangle this thing. It's good. It's just generic TPU that I got from one of my suppliers, I'm really happy with it. Some of the stuff that they'd sent me some samples of their PLA. It was really brittle and all that stuff. But their TPU, man, it's dialed. So I'm gonna have to pick up some more of this. I sold out of the stuff that I had. I just did a trial run of it. What I'll typically do is I'll get a bunch, and then I'll test the living heck out of it, and I'll give it to a couple other people to test, and then I'll do a trial run on my Amazon store and see how it sells. It sold out. I think it rated well. I don't think I got any major complaints from it, and so I think that I'm gonna call that a win. So I'm probably have to stock up on some more flex. TPU. So Dr. McCoy is asking, how is TPU different from Ninja Flex? Well, first of all, there's a lot of different types of Ninja Flex, or there's semi-flex and stuff like that. My understanding, and if I'm wrong, internet, correct me, but Ninja Flex is, the primary component is TPU, and they're just calling it Ninja Flex. They probably put a little extra secret sauce in there, but I'll be honest, I have not actually run true Ninja, so I should, because I'd like to have a little side by side. Cowboy, yeah, I was gonna say, I hope Cowboy can chime in because I know he's run a lot of flex. TPE, TPEE, TPU, they're they're the most common. So one's a urethane base. Cowboy, school us, man. What's the distinction? I know like TPU holds up better against solvents and stuff like that, and yeah, retraction issues for sure. Like I said, I think the best way to start with TPU is bring that retraction all the way down, and you'll get a bunch of stringing and stuff. But I think it's better to start with too much stringing and then just dial it, dial it in ever so slightly. So just add a little bit more retraction, slow it down. I don't know how fast you were printing, but yeah, interior edges. It's definitely not a beginner filament, which is why I haven't stocked it because most people want PLA, right? And so it just doesn't sell. It doesn't move as quickly. And then for me, as a little guy, to try to compete against Ninja Flex and all that other I don't rank very well and stuff like that. So that's why I haven't historically carried a variety of materials. But yeah, I'll give you my tips, Chris, and others. I would say that heat. So I like to run it a little when I'm first trying to get it dialed in. I run it a little bit hotter. I run it slow, like painfully slow. And I like using a bigger nozzle too. I go to a 0.5 mil nozzle. And I think the combination of a little bit of extra heat, a little bit bigger nozzle, slower, just guarantee a good flow. Get it flowing, lay it down, and then iterate from there. I mean, it's one of those filaments that you really have to spend some time with, and each one is going to be quirky in and of its own way. But I think I got lucky. I just went with my profile. I set up a simplified 3D profile for a TPU that just for a couple of other test things that I'd run, and I just went with the stock settings I had. And I think the next thing I'll do is I'll probably try bringing that retraction up a bit to see if I can cut the stringing back a little bit. But again, if I had to deal with the stringing, it's not the end of the world. I think it's just the perfectionist in me wanting to. It would be awesome if I could just spit out multiple ones of these, and I'm sure that's how people start thinking, I want to start selling iPhone cases. It's I don't know. I mean, I kind of look at it and I'm like, I like it. I like it on mine because I made it and I didn't have to pay a ridiculous amount of money for just like little 5 cents worth of plastic or whatever that that I feel like phone cases is a racket in and of itself. But I don't know if they would sell. It just doesn't look. People are funny about their cases and they want to have pictures of their family and stuff like that. I don't know. I guess if you're a little more pragmatic like me, maybe you don't care. Chris, you don't ever change your nozzles? Dude, you gotta change your nozzles. I mean, if nothing else, those things wear out. If you're just using stock brass nozzles, like those holes will get worn over time for sure. And if you're printing, I mean, you got to change out. It depends on what you're printing, but if you're trying to do really tiny stuff, you want to get that detailed nozzle. And if you're doing big stuff, it's going to take forever unless you go to a large nozzle. Yeah, shame on you. Layer height, Tony. So bigger, not too big though, not too big. Like I said, I just inched it up a little bit, and a 0.5 nozzle is not a common size I've found. Usually you'll see like 0.4 to 0.6. I sell a 8-pack on my Amazon store that has a 0.5 in it, and you can find them. They're totally out there, but for some reason, like I know E3D and some of the other bigger players, like they don't stock that as a standard size. Or at least they hadn't last time I checked. But the layer height, to answer your question, Tony, I printed this guy at 0.15, and I think it came out pretty good. I don't know if this camera is gonna focus in or not. Yeah, you know what? I'll see if I can't post some tighter pics. There's a pic on. I tweeted about it today. There's a pic on my Twitter feed if you want to look. I don't know if you can zoom in and get a better sense of the layer lines and stuff, but it's pretty clean. What's interesting about it, and maybe Cowboy, you've got some thoughts on this if you're listening still, is that it seems like every once in a while, like the nozzle would like kind of drag and cook, and it was almost like I wasn't over extruding. That's the other thing I didn't talk about. I try to under extrude a little bit with Flex with my TPU, because the material can collect on the nozzle, and these E3D style like M6 nozzles. Let me grab one. Okay, this will be a good comparison. Sorry about the audio here. All right, got some nozzles here for illustration. So, sorry, what I was saying is these nozzle, like the one thing I don't like about these M6 style, like the nozzle profile doesn't make sense to me, and there's probably some engineering behind it, but you see how, let's see, this is backwards for me. Yeah, come on, focus. All right, well, you can kind of get the sense. You see how it's like a little hex head? Sorry, guys, I suck. All right, let's try that again. Macro mode. All right, look at the profile of that nozzle. All right, so you see how it's like, it's kind of like a almost like a convex. You know, it's like hemispherical almost, and it's not like the, you know, these MakerBot style, the that come to a point more. Focus. Hey, there we go. So I'm still learning my gear for this, guys. Sorry. But what I don't like about that profile, what I'm saying is I feel like if you get any over extrusion, it will drag and it will collect, and then you'll get extra stringing as it's like kind of cooking and like flaking, not even flaking, like stringing off the nozzle. Yeah, big flat end on that, on the E3D style, and I gotta imagine there's a reason for it that they go that way. I mean, it's interesting because it's like, you know, for removal and stuff, like they've got it right up against, so you get your spanner like right at the tip. My thinking was like maybe they're trying to keep more of the melt zone like up closer to the block, so it's really just coming out at the last minute as opposed to exposing another, you know, couple extra millimeters. But I don't know, for some reason the point seems more logical to me, and granted, I'm not an engineer, I'm not a designer of these things, so there must be a reason, but you see it both ways, so maybe it's just one way or over another. Cowboy says he's had quite a bit of issue with leaking from the throat and charring on the hot end base. Dude, you don't want to have charring on your base. That sounds terrible. I'm trying to understand what that even means, Cowboy. You've had an issue with leaking from the throat, so it's coming out the throat like through the threads? Let's see. Do I put oil on the tip before prints? Angus swears by keeping the nozzle polished. I've heard him say that, and I haven't tried it. I should totally try that. I'm gonna try that. If nothing else, I usually, like, you know, I'll put my greasy fingers on it because I eat a lot of chips and stuff, so I wonder if that helps. But maybe more, you know, purposeful oiling would be a good attempt. I'm gonna give that a go. That's a good tip. I will say, since putting it gets black, but hey, if it works, who cares what it looks like? LOL at the grease, yeah. What was I saying? Oh, the sock. So I don't know how many of you guys run a hot end sock, but that has helped a lot, especially getting my cooling for bridging and stuff dialed in, but just keeping the whole thing clean too. Like, I can't tell you, like, if you have a fail and you leave the print and stuff and you got the spaghetti, like the hot end, the aluminum block is just gunked. Ugh, I hate it. And I've tried soaking them all in acetone and clean. It's just too tedious, honestly, for what those little aluminum blocks cost. throw a clean one on there. But I know it's probably not very responsible of me, but it's what I do because my time is very valuable, very valuable. Oh, okay. Here comes Mr. Mechanical Engineer. He's gonna drop some thermodynamics on us. Are you qualified to talk about thermodynamics, Chris? Tip geometry is likely related to heat transfer and the plastic melt adhesion to the tip. Yeah, I concur, Doctor. I will say on my MakerBot, I don't see nearly the buildup on the tip. So I don't know. Like I think just the geometry, there's less room for error. Like when your tip point, comes to a finer point. More heated thermal mass, more stable the melt. Yeah, that's kind of what I was trying to get at earlier. That they're probably trying to keep that thermal mass up closer to the hot block. As you get more pointed, you have a temperature gradient. But we could think about it more. Yeah, there's got to be a sweet spot in there, right? And so I think what you sacrifice in stability of your melt zone, you gain in potential cleanliness. I mean, ideally, if you're configured, if your printer is tuned and dialed right, you shouldn't be dragging your nozzle on anything that's already printed anyway, right? So I would say in a perfect world, the E3D design is probably better, but I'm sure I'm going to catch all kinds of heck for that kind of statement. Toss it. What am I tossing, cowboy? Toss. Oh, just toss the. If it gets dirty, I'm just wasteful like that. I recycle it. I put it in my aluminium recycling, and the garbage man comes and gets it every 2 weeks. Yeah, we only have pickup every 2 weeks here. It's sad. We have major recycling overflow problems here, but I won't get into that tonight. Tony had a sock, but it gets kind of saggy the more it gets used. Yeah, they'll do that. I mean, they're silicone, and they can hold up to a decent amount of heat, but they're only going to last so long. But I mean, it really does a good job acting as a blanket and keeping that heat in tight where you need to be. I've found that like I actually am having to dial my temperatures back down a little bit because it's insulating a little bit better. But my bridging is so much nicer because it's like I got a lot less of that heat radiating out, and so I get a nice tight fan concentration right on that nozzle tip. I'm doing like 100 millimeter long bridges, just no sag whatsoever. Not 100 millimeter. I'm lying. But it's sweet. It's sweet. I'll have to do up a video on it, but it's pretty sweet. Chris wants some pics of some nozzle tips. Hold on a second. I'm gonna move the camera down a little bit, guys. Bear with me here. I was thinking I might be up and moving around a little bit more later, but for now we're just gonna be sitting because I was outside earlier working on the shed quarters. That's where I'm going. All this you see here is going outside to the shed quarters, and it's gonna be awesome. I'm stuck. I've been working on it for probably the better part of a year, like slowly chipping away at it here and there as I've had time, and I'm really close now. I got electrical in. I just gotta finish the walls and lay some flooring down and put in the lazy boy. No, I'm not gonna put in a lazy boy. It's only a 10 by 16 space, which is really not much bigger than this, but I'm gonna get the printers. The printers are gonna go in the toy hauler, which is awesome because that's got battery backup natively. So when I'm camping, it's got the battery set up. So it's gonna be my mobile printer thing. So if I ever decide I want to take the show on the road, I just hook the truck up and I go. Maybe strap some stuff to the walls. It's gonna be sweet. But what's awesome about it is when the printers are in the toy hauler, it's plugged into shore power most of the time. But if the power ever cuts out, boom, battery backup right there. no lost prints, and I don't have any super high tech stuff that can resume after a power failure yet. So that's gonna be a good setup. The shed quarters needs an emergency hammock. I've got plenty of ideas for where some emergency hammocks can go, but in a pinch, man, I can just sleep under my desk or lay on the floor. The problem is you hate to have the missus just walk in on you while you're like taking a nap during the middle of the day. It's because then she just thinks that's all I do all day, even though sometimes you need a nap, especially when you go at the rate that I do, like non-stop all the time, right? And then when I crash hard. I sleep hard. I sleep harder than anybody out here, man. I'm telling you, it's like when I'm sleeping, but then when I'm up, I'm going. And yeah, but anyway, but sometimes the secret to that is, who was it, Einstein, or not Einstein, Edison, where it's like he would just work for 3 hours, and then would take a little nap, and then work for 3 hours and take a little nap. I dig that. I think there's something to that, because I'm not afraid to admit I will power nap sometimes during the middle of the day. But I got to tell you, I'm up burning the midnight oil. Sometimes I'm up at 5. Sometimes I'm up till 5. You never know what you're gonna get. So it's like you gotta. If you need to eat, you need to eat. If you need to sleep, you need to sleep. If you need to drink, you need to drink. Whoop, whoop. Anyway, another digression. But I'm looking forward to it. Hope to get out. I've been saying like a month for like 6 months now. So who knows? But I gotta get it done before the winter, man. I gotta get it painted. I gotta get it all locked down, watertight and all. Just because I can't have it drag on over a year. But I gotta do a little trenching. I gotta upgrade the power supply to it too, because I'm gonna be running a bunch of printers and heat and all that stuff. Right now it's adjacent to our pump house, so I just kind of pulled off of the well pump power, but I can't be robbing massive amounts of power from a critical system like the well. So anyway, once I get that new circuit run I'm gonna have to do some video on it, because it's a pretty awesome project. The whole thing started as a nightmare because it was like 10 feet too close to the house, according to the county, and they were telling me I was gonna have to do all this extra stuff to fireproof it. We got these crazy fire regulations out here because I'm in a wildfire area, and I said it was gonna like triple the cost of the whole thing because they wanted like cementatious siding and all this crazy stuff. And it's just for this tiny little shed, and I'm like, heck with that, Mr. Man. I'm gonna put this thing on rollers and move it like the Egyptians. And so that's what I did. I jacked the thing up. I got these big peeler cores, slipped them under there, and then I just rolled it 20 feet away just in case they changed the regulation. And now it's in the path of a giant sequoia that's going to fall on it, probably. But hopefully that doesn't happen for a while, and maybe I can divert it. All right. Yeah, California laws for buildings. You have no idea, Curtis. I've had to deal with I live in Nevada County, and they have nothing better to do out here than to just give you endless commentary on stuff before they issue permits. Like, you can see why people don't want to get permits for stuff, because they just make it so prohibitive. Like, a lot of these guys that are builders and stuff out here, they can't even do it anymore because like the what they require, like they require all this digital stuff now that like a lot of these guys that are fantastic craftsmen can they can build the heck out of anything, but they can't use a computer or send an email to save their life, and so they have to like pay somebody thousands of dollars to like put together a construction set for them. So Cowboy moved a shed too with a giant beam. And did you use the grease? Did you do the beam and the grease, or did you actually like crane it? You're talking like what? Who was it? Copernicus? Not Copernicus. Give me a 100-foot clipper and I'll circumcise. No, that was different. It was give me a lever and I'll move the world large enough. Anyway. Tip for OBS: set up a Raspberry Pi with a couple cheap webcams and use it to stream OBS. Cuts down on my CPU Makes it really easy to do remotes. Thank you, Tony. Thank you for the tip. I will look into that. I don't know. I didn't even think I was going to be doing live streaming, but I said, I don't got anything else going on tonight. I'll give it a shot. So is it not like, is my stream not reliable now? Like I can tell I've got, it says I'm pushing 30 frames a second, and I know I can do 60 if I wanted to, but I didn't want to push it. 16% CPU usage. Concrete block as a pivot. Row. Archimedes. Of course, Archimedes. How could I don't know what I'm saying. Copernicus, not. I don't know. He was like an astronomer. Archimedes, man, he had all kinds of good. Isn't he the guy that proved like that the sum of a sphere and a cone is equal to the sum of the volumes of a sphere and a cone is equal to a cylinder? Maths, people, maths. All right, we've talked about TPU. You guys have any more questions about printing flex TPU? I mean, I'm not gonna say that I'm an expert on it, but you know, I'm dangerous. I've done enough to be dangerous. Stream is fine, but when I start trying to add webcams to the same computer, it will take a toll. Yeah, that's why we're just running one for tonight. I mean, I seriously just like downloaded and I've never seen OBS before in my life. I downloaded it in 5 minutes, fired it up, and then couldn't figure out how to get my audio working for like 20 minutes while people sat around. So, just plugged in my phone to charge and it's firing up iTunes. We don't need that. It's all right. Close it. Let's see here. Cowboy wants to know, is the flex issue occurring when I'm doing long straight runs? Pressure change on the filament when pushing a lot of volume might cause the gapping. Okay. So, I gotta be honest, I didn't watch it long enough. I seriously set the thing to run and then I went to sleep. So, I need to spend a little bit more time probably observing it. But I have read, you know, it's really that pressure change, because obviously as a flexible filament, it can compress as it's being fed in there. And if you're getting like a springing action where it's like spurting out the nozzle like intermittently, that'll give you problems as you describe. When you talk about gapping, well, I'm going to take this off so I can refer to it at least before I charge. Go away, iTunes. Cowboy, when you're talking about gapping, are you talking about like... you remember you were talking with somebody else here. Did I miss something? Did somebody else say they were having gapping issues? I'm trying to look back. Well, okay. Only flex. Tony says he's only printed the M3D Tough ink. Not sure what that's made of, but I think it's some kind of flexible PLA base plastic. Yeah, that wouldn't be surprising. You know, suppliers use PLA to cut and mix all the time, and I think in order to call something a specific material, it just has to be a certain percentage of it. So, okay, so mine. So you're talking about like I do have some gapping, and you can't see it very readily here without pictures and stuff. It's nothing that I would write home about, but it almost looks like you can see like a weave pattern of a shirt or a you know, some cloth, kind of like every once in a while. It's just like seems like it's a little bit threadbare. So maybe that's what you're referring to when you say gapping? I hadn't. Well, I guess when I was talking about the layer extrusion, just didn't. Yeah, I guess you could call that Did I call it gapping earlier? I don't know. But yeah, I'm sure it's just a matter of tuning that retraction a little bit better, because I think with no retraction, you're gonna have too much pressure build up, like you're saying, and stuff too. So you need to have it be able to give a little bit as it's, you know, doing its Z hop and moving around and whatnot too. So Cool. All right. What kind of extrusion multiplier did I dial that down to? Oh, that's I didn't talk about like my number one tip for flex. I get really excited about it. This is my number one tip just for printers, period. Calibrate your filament. Like anytime you're running any material, never flex, PLA, ABS, PC, peanut butter, whatever. You gotta get the extrude. Well, you're calling it extrusion multiplier. I don't usually mess with the extrusion multiplier. I typically will go into the firmware and bring the actual E-steps, the extruder down, which is achieving effectively the same thing. It's probably stupid and overkill and whatnot. It's just the way that I kind of got in the habit of doing it, and I like with Octoprint that I can so easily just go into the firmware and change it on the fly and save it and push it. And basically I know then it's like locked in for that material. You can do the same thing using like Simplify 3D profiles or other. It's the same net effect. So to answer your question, literally my extrusion profile, my multiplier was 1 because I went into the firmware and actually adjusted my E-steps so that it was consistently pushing. When I did marked 100 millimeters and I pushed 100 millimeters, I was getting a true 100 millimeter push. Dustin in the house, buddy. Welcome. Just back from work or what? Good to have you, man. Dude, be gentle. This is my first live stream. I'm a total noob. Can you tell? Because I don't know, lighting could probably be better, the audio could probably be better, but dude, we're talking TPU tonight. We're talking we haven't even gotten into the rest of the docket yet. It's off the chain. I feel like I need to have some good music, dude. This is the thing too. Everybody's gone over to Twitch now, and I'm still on YouTube. I still haven't even mastered YouTube yet. So I'm like, I think I better just start with this. And I'm sure Twitch has its own setup and stuff too. But let's see. Got off 11. Oh, Joel was on. Joel was streaming. Good. I didn't. What was he doing tonight? I didn't see. Like I was looking earlier. I was saying like, why is nobody streaming? I'm like, no wonder. No wonder I've only got 6 viewers. I'm trying to compete with the 3D printing nerd. Dude, I do need help with the setup. I will take you up on that, my friend. You're drinking. What are we drinking? I would join you, but I'm totally out of my typical poison, which not surprisingly is. Dun, 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 dun. This is after hours, so it's not for kids right now. But yeah, if you're a true maker, I know this is actually as far as whiskeys go. A lot of people are like, Maker's Mark, whatever. I like it, okay. And I dream someday I'm gonna be sponsored by Maker's Mark and $6 T-shirts, and I don't know. We'll start with that. Jack, huh? Just straight Jack. You're a purist. To Tennessee. Nice. Yes. Tony, you like the Makers too? Jack or Crown? I'm not a snob. And if somebody's gonna offer me a fine whiskey, I'm gonna drink. Joel's got his rum. I've got my whiskey. Okay, I'm not. And every once in a while I'll do a little scotch. Get a little fancy with it. But I'm not a snob, man. I couldn't tell you that oak barrel stuff or any of that. Yeah. All right, Dustin. Seriously, you're gonna have to give me pointers, man. I was just saying, like, I never used OBS before. I literally I get on. I'm like, oh, okay. I'll just get on YouTube and just go click live, and it's like, oh no, you got to get streaming software and all this stuff. I'm like, oh, I do. So yeah, we're learning this as we go. Honey Jack, yeah. Seriously, I know. I dig me some Honey Jack, right? Tasty. All right, so we're drinking. I'm not drinking, but you guys are drinking. That's good. You guys having a good time? I like that. I gotta say, six viewers is way better than I thought. I was just gonna be talking to myself all night, get a little practice in, right? But we're having a good time. We talked about TPU. We talked about the shed quarters. Tony made fun of my plywood printer, but dude, the big box rocks the house. Okay, like I said, it doesn't. The other option was you could get it in acrylic, but everything I was reading, I didn't want the acrylic because ever saying like it cracks and all that stuff. What would be really sweet is someday they have all this thing is it's open source, and including like all the laser cuts and stuff like that. I think it would be absolutely bitching to like laser cut some steel or some aluminium, perhaps. I don't know, like whatever. If I could get my hands on some good, cheap stock and then do that. I have no idea how that would run with those nut traps and stuff like that. But anytime you do something to like lock down the rigidity of your printer and get everything dialed, you're gonna get just better and better prints. That thing does a really awesome job already. Full metal hot ends, dual Titan direct extruding, V6. Sometimes I'll run a V6 and a Volcano. Dude, Dr. McCoy, I will see you tomorrow. I appreciate you being audience member number 1 for the live stream, buddy. I get it. Get your beauty rest, and I will see you at Printerbot tomorrow. What I'm talking about for the rest of you, so Chris and his nephew and a couple other people and I are all going back to Printerbot headquarters, Printerbot HQ tomorrow. We're gonna do some more Adopt-A-Bot work, and help Brooke out some more. I'll be honest, Brooke is just looking for free labor probably to help him clean out his warehouse. Thank you, Chris. Repkord does rock, and you rock, my friend. You rock. Have a good night. And I appreciate you other night owls hanging with me. Curtis, I guarantee you, Brooke he loves having as much help as possible. So this is not going to be the last of it. I'll talk to him and see if he wants more people later. I think we've gotten to the point where we've built. I say we, like, this is. I've gone twice and I've helped out with like 11 bots at this point. But like he and his team and all of this is his baby and his gear and all that stuff have done, like, moved heaven and earth to take. I wish you guys could see like the amazing pile of parts and decrepit, broken down, beast bots of old that they've taken and refurbed and brought new life to and shipped out to other makers to really get them dialed in. A lot of them, they're not running necessarily. It's all the geometries and the mechanics are all in place, but he's throwing in printer boards like with stuff that generally runs a G2 board and all that stuff. So there's definitely going to be some work to still be done, and I've got 3, and I was saying, like, I don't know if I'm gonna get to it tonight or not because I've got to get over to Printerbot in the morning too. But I got a little bit more time in me. I'm fired up right now. You can see one. Here's the guts of a pro right here. Yeah, off with its head. What I was saying was we got the geometries and the mechanics all dialed. But he didn't have, so the new, like, I don't know if you guys have been following Brooke, but he was talking about he was talking about how many of these he's been I was wondering what happened to that. Put that over there for now. Sorry, I apologize. I will derail my thought process at some point. So, and I think I've already done it. But so we're talking about Adopt-A-Bot. Went down there, working on it. Oh, I know. So typically these have a G2 board on them with a touch screen, and he's selling them now in 3 configurations, which I think is awesome. Where you can get just the mechanics and put your own board in it or do whatever you want. Doesn't have any of the stepper motors or any of that stuff. But the primo mechanicals on it, like everything on this thing is just rock solid. I'm a huge fanboy, and I gotta tell you, like, this has been like really my first real intro into Printrbots. I'd played with them and stuff before. I've never owned one, um, but these pros, the simple pros, are like, he's saying like they're the best. Tom's 3D was saying like these are the best Printrbots he's ever made, and I think what can I say? Like I said, I'm new to it, so it's like, but I'd have to agree. Just like having put together a bunch of these things and just seeing how much effort and engineering has gone into like getting everything just locked in and dialed. And it's not true necessarily for all of this stuff. Like I know there's a lot of issues around the smalls and all that stuff, but it's a get what you pay for thing. But anyway, I was gonna say he's got 3 versions going, mechanics only. There's a touchscreen free version, I think, that still runs the G2 board. Don't quote me on this. I have to go polish up on it. And then there's the full, but no heated bed, and none of that. So it's a little bit stripped back. So I want to say it's like a $5.99, $7.99, $9.99 price point. Yeah, over 120 have signed up for Adopt-A-Bot. I mean, a lot of people are excited about it, and I think there's just a lot of demand. Curtis has got a smalls. Curtis, you had any issues with your with Z-Wobble? I was talking to Greg the Great. He was saying he was just hating life because he was getting some serious some ringing, some Z-Wobble, and he thinks he's got a bad coupler on the threaded rod and stuff like that, but he hasn't fully troubleshot it yet. Yep, you do get Z-Wobble, or it's a known problem, or what? Because like on the smalls, the mount for that, for the stepper for the Z-axis is like a printed part. Yeah, you and him compared. So did you get yours? Did you get it dialed yet, or are you guys both still working on that? Had Z-Wobble issues. Okay. We're anxiously awaiting the answer. Well, anyway, it's so on the smalls, it's a printed part that's mounted, and if that's not, if that's not printed perfectly, if you get a little bit of vibration in there, it's not clamped down tightly and stuff like that, I know that can cause problems for people. And honestly, there's a bunch of little nuances and parameters that you got to get dialed for that thing, so that it's printing well, like any printer. But anyway, so for the ones, the pros that we were putting together, that we were doing for Adopt-A-Bot, they don't have the touch screen. They're not the they're not the wireless cloud-driven ones that the production versions, or the full production version, has. So we put printer boards in those, which is still an awesome board, and still makes it a perfectly capable printer, but obviously there's a cost associated with it, and he didn't just have a bunch of extra ones to put on the beta units and stuff like that, so we opted to just include the printer board. And there's no documentation of doing a Simple Pro currently with a printer board, although if you've built a printer, it's really not terrible. Curtis is saying he switched to the 8mm rod and coupled with the Delrin block, and it's dialed in now. Okay, yeah, that Z-nut in the Delrin. Yeah, for sure. Good. Well, I'm glad to hear that you got it dialed in, man. That's awesome. Brooke is totally fired up about getting everybody on board with using the smalls as like kind of a go-to build to donate to schools, because he's like, I think it can be done cheaply. I think we can get printer farms going and cranking these things out, and try to get people excited about rep wrapping again and building something for something greater than themselves. I wasn't going to talk a whole lot about Adopt-A-Bot. I think we have a little difference of opinion on what's probably most important as it affects. I have a decent amount of experience talking to education, and my parents were both teachers. My brother's a teacher. I've spent some time at tech ed conferences like ISTE, and stuff like that, and been to a lot of different sessions. And I'm working currently with two Milken Award winning teachers that do 3D printing in their classroom that Repkord is sponsoring. And after having spent so much time on the teaching side, it's not. I feel like the message I keep throwing out is it's not the printer, it's the printer. And what I mean is it's not the printer, the piece of equipment, it's the printer. And so without like teachers that are super gung-ho and a support structure to drive it, it's not, you don't have the full recipe for success. Finding teachers that have the time and energy to devote to like new tech, especially like 3D printing, which is not plug and play and not what I think your average everyday person or teacher might expect. Like if they get a printer donated, I can't tell you how many schools I've talked to like, oh yeah, we've got a printer that's been donated, but it hasn't even been taken out of the box because we don't know what to do with it. There's no curriculum for it. Oh, we have them, but they broke and we don't know how to fix them. And so, like, this is really where I feel passionate about the Adopt-A-Bot side is that, yes, the equipment is important. Like, you can't, like, the school can't do it if they don't actually have gear. But more so, the community behind it, I think if people were willing to, like, donate their time or even just be a resource that if the thing does break, it's like, yeah, call me or I'll Skype with you. Even, like, you don't even have to be physically going there. Like, you know, if you spend any time with this, you know as well as I do that a lot of the problems are pretty easily troubleshot. I guess that depends on what your experience is with making and building and whatnot. But you know, a lot of the teachers I'm working with, they're running MakerBots, and they're like, the extruder jammed, and I need a new extruder. And it's like, you don't need a new extruder. You just need to like take it out and unjam it and clean it. And like they've just never been given the training, and a lot of them don't have the confidence to just try to open it up. I know MakerBot doesn't want you opening up their stuff, and I'm sure they'd rather you believe that you just need to buy a new smart extruder. But anyway, teachers need a shop teacher that is fluent in 3D printing. Yes, Tony, I would agree with that. I would love to see more of like a modern shop model, because like so many schools have like lost shop class and automotive class, and like that is good stuff, man. I had that when I was in school, and I don't think they offer it at where I went to high school anymore, which is a shame, because I think that there's no shame in being a craftsman or a tradesman or any of that stuff. But yeah, Cowboy, you're right on. Librarians seem to be the ones that inherit this, and they're not necessarily the most tech savvy. Apologies to any librarians out there that might be watching this. Like, I'm not saying that globally, but it is interesting. I think that, I wonder why it originated that way. Maybe because like that's where there's the space, and libraries are trying to do programs to get people excited about going back to the library and make sure they keep funding and stuff like that. Interestingly enough, I'm volunteering at our local library, and there is a tech lab there, and they had a 3D printing intro to the 3D printer class that I went to check it out, because they were saying like, oh, we got these MakerBots, and I was like, oh, that's pretty progressive for where I live. I'm gonna go check this out. And it was basically like this, you know, retired guy that was just volunteering his time, that I think just kind of read through the MakerBot manual at some point, just showing people how to load filament and unload filament. But like that was it. They were trying to get people like certified, but everybody was, the class was like, well, what do I print? Like, how do I do? Like, nobody knew anything about design. So I stepped in, and first of all, I donated them a bunch of filament, because they had like one tiny spool. This was like pathetic. One tiny spool of like MakerBot filament. And if you've ever bought MakerBot filament, you know it's a ripoff. It's like $50 for like a tiny spool. But anyway, like I had that, so I'm like, I had some in the truck. I'm like, here, take this filament, and then I got wrangled into teaching a Tinkercad class. So I'm going to be doing that in the coming weeks. But I'm excited. I've never actually taught a class proper, so that'll be interesting. Um, library has a few 3D printers. Yeah, I mean, I've come across them in quite a few libraries, man. It's cool. I mean, I'm glad to see that libraries are trying to stay relevant because people just aren't going and checking out books. Like ever since the advent of the internet, I hate to date myself, but it's like back when I had to write a term paper, it was like you had to go to the library and you had to look up references and you had to cite your sources. And now it's like everybody just gets online and just does their research there, and then they try to cite Wikipedia, which bugs the living crap out of me because Wikipedia should not be a citable source. Um, didn't I help out at UC? I did not help out. No, I went to UC Berkeley, if that's what you're referring to, Curtis. I went down to UC Berkeley, and Dr. Chris and I, who was on the stream earlier, we built Sockman. We designed Sockman together, and he was explaining about the class that he teaches. But I have not sat in on that. I would love to audit that class, though. And that's actually an entrepreneurial class that he's teaching. So there is a tech innovation aspect because it's like feet in the fire, like, hey, you've got I think he said it was an 8-week program, and it's like you've got to come up with a product that you can sell and make and build. And I thought it was just awesome. Like, I love that kind of stuff because he gives them like no direction. It's just like, I wouldn't say no direction, but it's like, just throw you in the deep end until you gotta do some stuff. So make something. Trying to get your granddaughter interested in Tinkercad. Good. Tinkercad is awesome. My son is 7, and he already knows Tinkercad. You should check out on my YouTube channel. We did last week for the Repkids installation. We did a remix, and I say remix because basically we took a model off of Thingiverse, and he put his name on it. But that's a starting point. And I think that anytime you're teaching somebody something, you got to find that balance of give them something that they're passionate and they're excited about. Like, we went and saw the Despicable Me 3. They love Minions, and so we found Minion goggles. They're out in the house somewhere, and we made them. But then I've got 3 kids, and so Biggs and I call them Biggs, Thing 1 and Thing 2, the twins. And dude, Dustin, you gotta try Tinkercad, man. It's free. It's on a web browser. Like, you can't go wrong with it. But anyway, my 7-year-old son can do it, and he's getting pretty comfortable with it now. I mean, he's done introductory stuff, but he knows how to. He's gone through the tutorials. Awesome tutorials, good for any age. Like, literally handholds you through it. Even if you were to spend an hour with Tinkercad, like at our level, like, you would be rather proficient. It's really intuitive, and I still use it for modeling like a ton of different stuff. Like, you can take one of the best things about Tinkercad is it's like a great package for actually importing existing STLs and modifying them. And I'm talking about more than just adding your name, like actually doing booleans and manipulating and adding and all that stuff, or going from scratch. You'd be surprised. Like, a Fusion 360, that is a sweet package, and you can do a lot of stuff with it, but it sucks for like just doing basic modifications of already existing stuff. So as a starting point, Tinkercad is spot on, man. And Autodesk knows what they're doing, right? Like, it's actually pretty powerful. If you're using Fusion, you'll have no problem cooking. Totally, yeah. If you've ever used Fusion, like, you'll be going to Tinkercad like that for sure. I agree, Cowboy. I would love to see makerspace libraries turn into more makerspace centric stuff. I mean, where do you draw the line, right? It's like, let's get some CNC machines in there. Let's get a lathe. Let's get the lasers. Yeah. And, the books will be back there still. What are these things? What are these things back here? I mean, seriously, like, you bring a kid to a library. My kids love the library. Our library is pretty sweet here. Our local library is actually, like, shared with the high school library. But they do an awesome job. Like, every weekend they'll, like, put out a bunch of games, and then they get, like, magicians, and there's, like, events going on. It's like a carnival in there half the time. Yeah, totally check it out. I can't recommend Tinkercad enough. Awesome package. So, other stuff I had on the docket for tonight. I don't know. I don't know how much longer I'm gonna go. Like, this was totally an impromptu thing. I'm stoked you guys are hanging with me. Book nerds and gearheads don't mix until now. Yeah. I don't know, man. I think they can. I've seen some pretty book nerdy people and gear. But yeah, I guess if you're getting really salty gearheads in there, yeah, maybe not. I don't know. Who cares? You know what? It's all love, man. Just bring them all in. Bring them all in, and let's just make something. Let's make something together. Hey, thank you. Thank you, Lucky Curtis. That's kind of weird. Ford versus Chevy. Go. I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole, Curtis. Applause. Thank you. I'd say, and a thank you. A thank you. Yeah, I don't know. You guys, do you want me to go on, or should we just cut it? Should we just call it while we're ahead here? Dustin, you started your gearhead. Let's see. Where would I? Chevy. Dustin says Chevy. Okay, impromptu vote. Ford or Chevy? I guess I don't feel like I can vote. I have a Toyota. Come back. And technical difficulties. Are you still with me? Are we still live? So I gotta figure out how to get my stream health better. That was just my camcorder deciding to take a nap after 60 minutes. Whatever, man. Love hanging out. Skype with my model nerds earlier. Cool. All right. What's the call here, guys? Do you want me to keep going? Ford there. I can't pick. I love them both. It's like Mac and PC, man. I cut my teeth on PCs, but I run Macs now, but I have a place in my heart for both. I've never owned a Ford or a Chevy. Dustin is rocking the Crown Vic. Sweet, Dustin, you put a little police cruiser paint job on it so people get out of your way when you're rolling down the highway. Mopar. Oh, Curtis Rollins. He's like a big block Chevy guy. The Skylark. You know, the first car I drove was a '69 Buick Special, and that thing was a boat. But it wasn't my car. It was my grandfather's car that he sold to my dad, that my dad had and like wrenched on forever, and that's where I learned how to change oil and do just, you know, the basic stuff. But that car was sweet because it was so easy to work in. Like, you could literally pop the hood up. You'd pop that hood up, and you could just climb right in there, man. Right in there with the engine and just wrench on it. There was just space. You know, the water pump would explode, but it was like, no problem. Like 3 bolts, pull it off, put a new one on. $95,000 miles. I feel like you guys are just talking amongst yourself. Am I even still here? Is anyone still listening to me? I don't care if you're not. I'm happy you guys are having a good time. Crown Vic. Room in the trunk for 3 or 4 bodies. Yeah, in the... Okay. I don't know why I don't have more faith in, like, this thing working. Oh, you want me to talk about the giant... Yeah, we're talking about slicing it. Okay, I'm going to run and grab it. Actually, that's kind of messed up because my daughter went and took it to bed with her, so I don't necessarily want to sleep it. Take it from her while she's sleeping. But, so I printed... hold on, I'm sure she doesn't have it. I'll be right back. Okay, I probably just broke like rule number 1 of radio and whatever. So you're not supposed to leave dead air, right? But you know, gotta get your props. Yeah, it's the unicorn, and it's the bank. So it's the 400% scale. I mean, it's not that huge, is it? I mean, it's big. It's big, but I did it on this dude over here. This is the hatchbox. Do you guys want the unofficial tour? Let me see if I can do this. All right, I'm gonna try to maneuver. I'm gonna see if we can keep audio. It's pointed at me. I'm over here. Is it too quiet this way? Anyway, so I mean, you can see like it fills the build. It fills the build area of that thing. So it's like a 6-inch. Sorry, a 12-inch diameter base build plate on that. The hatchbox is so the base plate is 305, which is 12 inches. So I can do a foot diameter. So it's not a cube, and it'll do. I want to say the biggest thing I've done was like 16 inches high. So this is This is 13. This is 13, and this was the absolute limit. So it's like a 12-inch diameter cylinder that can go like 13 high. And I seriously ran it to the top. In fact, it screwed up here because I was dragging on the top. So it's probably just a hair under 13 inches. It's a big bowl. That's right. It's it's a vase. A vase. Dude, Dustin, I can't wait to hear how that CR10 works out for you, buddy. I know you're pumped. Like you said they shipped that thing right away, right? So it just got to transit the ocean. Yeah, it's gonna be pounds. So Cowboy's asking when the the purple haze is gonna be available. I'm gonna show you the purple haze because the purple haze is a trip. I love the purple haze. What did I do with the spool? Oh, here it is. My office, it's a mess in here right now, guys. Seriously, like this is all smoke and mirrors back here. Like that's all. Everything else. I'm like surrounded by boxes, and boots and shoes and junk and empty Maker's bottles. Okay, so here's the purple haze PLA. This is the Max line. I'm not gonna do a sales pitch on you guys. That was not at all my intention. But I got a lot of response to a lot of people asking me, like DMing me about this. Like, I want me some of that. And I don't blame him. It's got a cool sheen to it. I sell them in pound sizes, and I know, like, here's the thing. I'm gonna give you the inside baseball on this. So I designed these spools and all the filament I sell originally for education. And when I say for education, like, I spooled them on MakerBot compatible spools. So if you've ever seen the MakerBot, it's got a cartridge that slides up and it clips in and it fits in. So they're narrow. The actual MakerBot ones, like the large spool, is like a little bit larger diameter. Am I sending you a roll? Are you want to order a roll? I don't have much in the way of freebies right now, but you know what? Hey, if Jatman can do the giveaway, man, am I gonna have to start running this? Like, is this gonna have to be a regular thing? I mean, it's a lot of fun for sure. I hadn't anticipated spending time doing live streaming, but man, it's a lot of fun, and yeah, I'd be happy to give away this stuff. But anyway, to get back to the story, it wasn't originally designed for the maker community, and so a lot of people look at my stuff and they're like, oh, it's a pound and it's like it's expensive. Like, yeah, compared to Hatchbox, like a kilo of Hatchbox or whatever, it can be more. It is more expensive, but you guys weren't originally the target audience for it, so. I'm on the fence, honestly, about the filament to begin with, because there's a real race to the bottom on price on this stuff, and it's like, for me to pay to have it spooled, like, first of all, like, I have a specific spool I like, and I have to have it labeled and all that, and like, there's just not a lot of margin left in it at the end of the day to make it worth it. So I'm getting some play on the education side. What I was going to say was, the only show in town for MakerBot, for unless they're like a really progressive educator that like made their own spool holder, like most of them like feel like I've got to put MakerBot stuff in it, and they've got a real racket going right there, because it's like they're running the same PLA. MakerBot doesn't make PLA, like they don't make their own stuff. They source it the same way I do from similar suppliers overseas and all that stuff, and they just put it on their spool that fits in their thing. Now they're not doing the chip or any of that crazy stuff, like, so you can run compatible filament, but as far as I know, nobody else is marketing or doing like MakerBot compatible, you know, they're not the, what is it, like the cheap ink cartridge guy, you know, so like, I tried to find a little niche in that, and that's how this was kind of born. But, you know, I said, well, like, I'm not opposed to other people buying it. And I found that I did get a lot of response for a lot of new people that were getting into 3D printing that didn't want to drop a lot of cash on, like, a kilo. Like, there were not a lot of options for, like, getting more variety of color in less packages. And so that's what led me to do this kind of thing. And it's honestly, it's been okay. Like, people do buy it. I know I get a lot of people who are like, dude, that's just way too expensive. I'm not paying that. And like, I don't blame you. Like, if you were looking for the best value in filament, I am not it. But what I will say is I spend a lot of time printing this stuff, and I've been through, I can't tell you how many spools. Like, I don't know if you've seen, I did a thing on the spool rack that I made. I'm not going to point the camera over there right now. But, like, I've burned through so much plastic here, and I've gotten a lot of crap, and I've gotten a lot of really good stuff that was just too expensive, and so I'm trying to find a sweet spot where it's like I can actually have something decent. But at least it's not sold as feet. By the foot? Like fruit by the foot? You might have something there, fruit by the foot, and then people are going to start eating it and suing me, and that's no good. Edible filament. Delicious. They do have, you know, if you got a paste extruder, you're going to do some 3D printed chocolate or pancake batter. Fun story, I actually went to school with the inventor of PancakeBot. I don't know if that's something I should be bragging about or not, but that guy's a trip. The stories I could tell. Did some video work with him a while ago, too. Protopasta is expensive, but it prints like butter, and that is true. That is true. And supposedly those are really cool dudes. I really hope I can get up to the Pacific Northwest and actually meet Alex and that crew. I know that I've heard a lot of good stuff about them, and obviously, you know, Joel's got his line going up there and all that stuff. But so this stuff here is actually made in the USA, so my supplier is local for this, and I gotta tell you, that's a tough business to be in locally, because like the cost of labor is just so much higher, and you know, I'm proud of companies like Protopasta, Push Plastic. There's so many of them out there and stuff like that, because it's a competitive space, but you know, I like buying local when I can, if it makes sense. It's just tough. I've done a lot of surveying on, like, do people really care if it's made in the USA versus overseas? And, you know, with the maker community, the response I've gotten is that doesn't resonate. I mean, what do you guys think? Do you care if your filament's made in the USA? Dustin, you got some of that High Five Blue, man? You running that? I mean, I've seen pictures of the prints, but I haven't run it myself. You bought 2 rolls. Tony, you're in Vancouver. Vancouver, Washington, I'm assuming. Yes. Yes. I will let you know. Do you know Keith? Do you know Keith Kovala? Do you know Tinkers? You probably do if you're up there. And like, who else is who else is up in Vancouver, Washington? So have you, Tony? Have you been to Protopasta headquarters? I would definitely like to make a trip up there. Made in the USA. Just wish it would work better. Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I mean, here's the thing. Like, I like to support local whenever I can with whatever I can, but at what price and at what cost, and I don't want to sacrifice quality. And just because it's made in the USA does not make it better. I told you I've run a lot of filament. I've run a lot of US filament that is not good too. The real test of filament is, does it work well over time across multiple batches? Are the color consistent? Is the printability consistent? Is it, you know, does it not stay brittle, or does it not get brittle? You know, all that stuff. Yeah, and you can have, you're totally right, Dustin. You can have different filaments for different stuff. If you want your everyday print stuff, you know, great. Get an inland, get a hatch box, whatever, and then, you know, get your top tiers, top shelf. It's like your liquor, right? It's like you got your top shelf, and then you got your well, and you know, well's good. You get a good buzz on well, but you know, every once in a while you want to roll some top shelf stuff, and so that's how we do. Right now, I've got, I mean, let's see, I don't have a whole lot up there right now. I've got a ton more in the boxes. A lot of that's my own stuff, but I print a lot of other people's stuff too, and I'm a maker like you guys, so it's like I'm not married to like only using my own stuff. And I always love just getting a sense of like, you know, who's making what and what the hot new material is, and right now it's PLA plus plus plus. It's like rum plus plus. No, like, I'm serious. There's like plus 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 now, and it's like, it's getting nuts. Really? Do we need a plus plus plus? Curtis, you like Atomic? Yoda? Oh yeah, dude. You saw my. You know who made me that Yoda? You know who made me that Yoda? MRRF 2008. The mid range, not mid range. The mid. Maker, what is, wait, Midwest Rep Rap. Yes. What was that? Sorry, man. I'm slowing down. It must be getting late. Dude, let's look at Yoda here for a sec. Alright, so this was given to me by none other than Travis A. Pyro himself. And if you didn't know, I think you guys all know. You know Travis, right? So he works down in Granite Bay, which is like 30 minutes from here. It's not too bad. And the shop that he works at is actually this pretty rich eccentric dude's house. And like they're in this like back shop area, but like it's decked out, man. And they print these really sweet old. Their bread and butter is like these old steel signs, but they've got massive laser cutters and sublimation presses and vinyl cutters and yeah, A Pyro. That's exactly right. And so anyway, I got to go check that out. I met him for lunch, and he's like, "Oh, you gotta leave with something." And so we threw this on the laser, and this is a big ass fiber laser. This is not like the little Muse, you know, which is a cool laser too. But you're not gonna be cutting steel plate like this with it. Dude, the fiber laser. First of all, this thing is like massive. I've got some pics of it somewhere. I think they're on my old phone, but I'm talking like 6 by 10 feet, okay, like big. And I'm like, oh dude, that thing's got to be like multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars. He's like, no, it wasn't bad. It was like a $30,000 machine, which is still a lot of money, don't get me wrong, but for the size of this thing and what it could cut, he was telling me like the thing can cut 1/4 inch steel. Maybe even 3/8. I don't know, but like he showed me some plate, and he's like it's slow, and it's, you know, it's cleaner than what a torch looks like, but yeah, that was that was a sweet visit just to see what that thing could do. But anyway, he cut me out a little Yoda here, and I kept both pieces because I thought it was pretty cool. This guy, sorry, oh, if I hold it in front of the microphone, you can see it really well that way. Yeah, right. Like I actually feel like the Yoda's almost more visible in the negative. I guess this is the positive. I don't know. Yeah, this is the positive. But that's a trip right there, right? And then I don't know if you're familiar with like the sublimation process, but they've got these sweet printers that look like, you know, inkjets, but they print out these giant like vinyl sheets, and then they throw them in these big presses and go and cook it on there, and so it's like it gives it this, you know, you can do these. That's how he's doing his spinners and stuff like that, and it's just wicked. But anyway, I was happy to do that. I think I'm gonna do a how-to. I think what I want to do is I want to put a cool patina on this. I'm gonna try rusting it. Maybe I'll do a video on like how to rust metal and, you know, get a good look, and then build a little Yoda hut in the yard or something. I don't know. Anyway, just one of the many gizmos I've got around here. Okay, so Midwest Rep Rap. So Dustin, you're going to that, and it's in sometime in March. Everyone will be there, huh? Yeah, Tony. It's like a powder coating, a printed powder coating. I'm pretty sure that's exactly right. I am not a scientist or a powder coating technician or whatever that is, but yeah, and they've got a powder coating booth and stuff there too, and that's the thing. But all right. So printing big, I think what I'm gonna do is next week. Actually, I don't want to get into this, I think, too much right now, because next week Krusty and I are gonna get together and do a collab video on printing big and printing small. So a little teaser for that. Boom. I apologize. I'm gonna do the lav mic next time when I get set up a little bit more. But okay, so tiny Pegasus. Not even blurry. I'm not even, whatever. You get the idea. Tiny, big, tiny. Okay, so this is 10 millimeter high. This is like 12. What did I say this was? It is, yeah, like 12 inches, which is like, what, 30 something millimeters? Yeah, 305, right? 304 and 0.87. All right. Yeah, so anyway, we're going to talk big prints, small prints, what goes into both, because they both are very quirky and different things. So I ran a 1.2 mil nozzle on this guy. I ran a 0.2 nozzle on little baby guy, and this was way harder than this. And this is not necessarily a cakewalk, but it was much easier than the 0.2, and I'm not even happy with that one right there. Like I've got some ideas of what I need to do. I got to get that nozzle dialed. I've never gone as low as 0.2 before. I've done a 0.25 and I've done a bunch of 0.3, but yeah, I don't know. What's the smallest you guys have printed? Tony worked at a printing press shop, did sublimation, silk screening, and now he works as a machinist, running CNCs. Awesome. So you could build your own, like all this stuff on that Pro. You probably mill all that. You can make your own, right? Let's see. You got a 0.2 on your Cetus, and you printed N scale cars. Awesome. So did it take you a while to get it dialed? I'm assuming it did, unless I'm just a special snowflake, which I am a special snowflake. Dude, what is up? Matt, in the house. You're up late, bud. You're up late, man. We already been through it. We've been talking TPU. We've been talking printing big. We've been talking printing. Now we're trying to talk about printing tiny. But I was just teasing because Chris and I, we're gonna collab on a video next week. We're gonna compare notes on printing big stuff and printing small stuff. So we're not diving deep, But Tony was telling us about printing his end scale cars on his .2 nozzle, and dude, printing a .2 just like makes that is some work getting that dialed. I still got a lot of work to do getting that going. I think Nilla's talked a lot about that too. Oh, you're heading in. You're up early. Picking up the extra hours. You saving up for that Maker Faire, huh? Not bad. Cetus software does pretty good. Found use a raft and angle the print to get the most detail. Hey, that's a good tip. Angle the print, eh? Yeah, I suspect part of my issue is I don't feel like my gantry is dialed in the Y. I think I got to tighten up some belts, so I'm going to do a little inspection, do a little lube job on it, and see if I can. Because I felt like it started strong too, and then I lost resolution as I got up higher, and I was definitely having issues with heat lingering too long on this, so I think either I need to do some kind of sacrificial block or print like multiples at a time, and I guess worry more about the retraction and stuff there. But like, yeah, like the first couple ones I would like start strong, and then I would just get like a blob for a head, just because it was just getting too hot. And then I found out this morning that like the thing melted down on me, had some heat creep, not while I was printing, or at least not that I was aware of while I was printing, but I didn't unload the filament right after. And so when I went to go swap out the filament today, I couldn't get it out because it had basically, like, I heated the thing up as hot as it could go. And I think what I can do is if I pull the fan on the extruder and I heat it up so that I allow the heat to get actually up into the block, like it'll soften so I can pull it out. But I think I'm going to have to pull the throat out of it and either torch it or maybe just replace it, just because you do not want gunk in your nozzle throat. You don't want gunk anywhere, but definitely not in your nozzle throat. Cool, bud. Yeah, I got the nozzle kits up there. Appreciate that. That's a great way. Like, I tell people, like, I don't do the Patreon thing. I haven't done, like, I didn't think I was going to be doing live streams either, but apparently Cowboy taunted me into it, and here I am, and we're almost 2 hours in at this point. I'm just yammering on until everybody decides they're going to go to bed. I'm going back to Printerbot in the morning too, so I should probably hit the hay at some point. But anyway, yeah, didn't think I was going to be doing that, but you know, I set up stuff on the store, and I figured, hey, this is all stuff we're using anyway, and if you want to kick down and buy from me to support your obsession the way I've got it, like, cool. Thanks for that, man. And don't get me wrong, I have nothing against Patreon or any of that other stuff, but like I always like feeling like, you know, if I'm going to ask people to kick down for something, like, I want to make sure they're getting something of value, and of that, so I feel like that's insulting. That's not meant to be insulting. Like, there's a lot of value in the content and stuff that a lot of people are creating out there. But I don't know. I just do it differently, and I figured, hey, maybe this is a good way to go about it. I've never actually had a store before. I'm a web developer by trade. I've built a lot of websites, e-commerce sites for other people, and they seem to do pretty well with that. So I figured, hey, I'll give it a shot, and I'm learning a lot, and I'm learning a lot of what not to do. But hey, you know, so far so good. I had a decent holiday season last year. I learned a lot of lessons. Hopefully, do well this year. I'm thinking this is going to be my Alamo this year because I got to get into the black this year. Like, I've been breaking even. Everything I just put back into the whole thing. But yeah, man, working for that. Yeah, vacation, dude. You got to be putting in mad hours right now, Matt. I feel for you, brother. I appreciate you stopping in. Let's see. Flat roofs look wonky. Just printed 10-degree, nice roof contour, undersides don't show. Yeah, you get nice detail on that point too, for sure. For sure. You know, step yours up a bit, huh, Matt? You'll get there, man. You're doing all right. You're doing all right, man. I think you're being a little bit hard on yourself because you obviously spent some time doing some editing and all that, man. I've been there. I mean, the stories I could tell back from the Voodoo days, the Wild West of YouTube and all that stuff. That'd be a stream in of itself. I'll have to give you guys a little, if you want to. If you haven't heard of Voodoo or know what that is, like I won't dive into it now. But like my YouTube channel was revived from an old business that I had, and that's the short of it. And my old business partner and I had this how-to channel back in 2006 when like YouTube was a baby, and we were like one of the first partners and got invited to YouTube headquarters, and we only had like 60 videos or something like that, and half of them were just a joke. A lot of them were contributed, and we thought we didn't really know what we were doing, and the graphics. I mean, the videos are still on there. There's like parkour stuff on there and stuff that's almost embarrassing to watch, but it's funny. Build a web store for Printbots so they could use some help. Dude, I am so burned out on web development. I'm like, I really want this thing to succeed just because I'm like, it just feels unhealthy being in front of the computer all day long, being a code monkey, man. I envy guys like Matt and other people that get out and get to use their hands more all day. And like, I just the minute like I get a chance, I'm jumping up and getting out and working on the shed quarters or any other 20 projects I got going. I just go hop on the backhoe and just go start digging for no reason sometimes. Yeah, like that's how I roll. Oh, this was cool. I want to show you this. I got this. This is a sample off of the palette by Mosaic that Brooke over at Printrbots gave me. And dude, the box of stuff they sent him were wild, man. I gotta say, like, I've seen the videos and I've seen the reviews that Noob did and others, and I don't feel like it does it justice until you hold this in your hand and you're like, holy crap, man! Look at how dialed in the colors are on the layers and stuff. Like, really cool, really promising stuff. I mean, I don't know. For the price point, I don't know how compelling it is to your average person, but it makes some pretty cool stuff. It can only do 4 colors right now, or it can do support and stuff. But I'm intrigued. I don't know if I'm intrigued enough to buy one, but I gotta say it looks way better than I would have thought. So, I don't know. I'm going to see if I can't weasel another couple samples off of Brooke tomorrow. Or actually, I got a follow from them. I'm going to see if I can't get them to send me some stuff direct. Should you get the palette or the multi-material upgrade for your Prusa? So, I cannot claim to be an expert or have any experience with either, other than what you've seen, as well. Can I move out to Pennsylvania where you're hiring, huh, Matt? Doesn't pay web developer wages. No, that's I mean that's why I'm still doing it, right? I'm not gonna lie. That's what's keeping the lights on and paying the bills right now. So gotta do that. But yeah, sorry to go back. I jump all over. I've got serious ADD, guys. I can't answer that question, man. I don't have a Prusa. Like, that is like, I wish I had an MK2. I want to see what the hype's all about. I mean, half of the time it's like I see a printer like everybody else is talking about, and it's like I want to buy one and try it myself too. But I mean, they both look pretty cool. They both do a bunch of stuff. I gotta tell you, like, if you're not into waste, like, palette's pretty sweet because you don't have a giant purge block to deal with. Would love to see Prusa do some work on that purge block to at least make it into some Legos or something cool and usable, rather than that just big wad of filament. But yeah, man. You know what, dude? If I remind me, and like I said, if I score some more, I'll bring it with me because you gotta hold it. You gotta see it in person. Like, I don't feel like it does it justice. Like, it's a trip. I want to see, like, they sent a bunch of raw filament that was like stitched but hadn't been extruded yet too, and so you could see like that it's actually, like, I was thinking they were just chopping and like spitting it in using like the pressure of one behind the other, but they're like, I think they're like filament. I think they're welding it like friction welding. I think that's what they're doing. Like, you can tell like the tolerance is dialed. Like, it's still 175 throughout, and it looks like a tie-dyed strand. But there's not, any bulge or anything to speak of. And I think the only way they're really doing that, I don't think it's with heat. I don't think it's with like direct heat. I think it's with friction heat. And I think that allows them to basically like polish it to tolerance and melt it together as it goes, and it's wild to see. If I can grab some, or maybe I'll just get some pics. Like I'm sure Brooke will let me take some pics tomorrow. Like I said, I'm pretty sure if I got in touch with Palette, they'll send me some stuff too. So if I do more of these, who knows? Maybe I'm gonna get into this. I don't know. But Prusa multi-material method is the same implementation you do on your Delta. It's just slow and a lot of retraction. Yeah, for real. And it's just automated, right? So it's muxing, which is fancy terminology for mixing, I suppose. Yeah, just 4 Bowdens in, and then it's got to do and then retract out. If you haven't seen Brooke's bit on the community multi-material thing he's working on, you should check that out over on Printrbots channel. They've got some interesting setup. He's just doing it with 2, I think, right now. It's like a Y setup, but it's like a hybrid. It's like a hybrid direct and Bowden config, and it's pretty intriguing. Yeah, but multi-material. It's pretty cool. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it's fair to say it's the future, but obviously it reminds me of like in the world of 2D printing where, we started with like black dot matrix and then we got the ribbon cable. Like this is like the color ribbon cable. Maybe not even quite that because it's like only like four true colors. Like what is that called? Like quad tone, not duotone or tritone, but quad tone, where it's like you literally have 4 and they're not blending. It's like you only get what you got there. Oh, dude, the printer belt is a trick. That's gonna be. You gotta watch that because obviously black belt, printer belt, and who knows if MakerBot's got a patent on it, but I don't know what they got up their sleeve. I haven't heard much on that front, but dude, seeing that thing firsthand. In fact, I think I showed you. I got look, dude. He gave me like one of the first extrusions off of it, and I was like a dumbass. I left it in my truck, and it warped, and I like kind of tried to hit it with a heat gun to bring it back, but I was so bummed. I was trying to think of like some cool like mount or like make a hilt for the sword and like do an Excalibur thing. I don't know. Maybe I still will, but I'm not a very good steward. The fact that Brooke entrusted me with like one of the first things that came off the printer belt, and I let it warp, it makes me. I'm a bad maker. Bad. Yeah, snap is right. That's exactly what I said. You know what Curtis, I woke up seriously in a cold sweat in the middle of the night and went, oh crap, I left the sword in the truck, and it's been like 100 to 105 like every day for the last couple months here. I knew it was toast. Yeah, I know. Brooke still got the OG original sword, which I'm glad because it's actually longer than this one. He's got the full-blown 6 foot. This thing's only, I don't know, three and a half. But anyway, I don't know. So maybe hopefully I can weasel my way into getting another piece or something off of him. But dude, that guy Brooke is awesome. I don't care. A lot of people have their what they think about Printerbot and stuff, and as a business, and Brooke is a guy like he can come across as a little intense, but his heart is so good. Like the intensity is so good. Like I feel like I share a lot of what he's got going on in the sense that he's like the kind of guy that he's a doer, man. He's like, I see a nail and I gotta hammer it, and he doesn't care. He doesn't care about the money. No, and I know that sounds like I'm being a total fanboy here right now, and I guess I am a little bit. But like, no, he literally like does not like. Like the box that they like ship the Simple Pros out in, like the foam is like all laser cut, and like just the packaging in the box. Like I have a packaging minor and stuff, so I know what goes into this stuff. Like that piece alone costs like $20 right there, and like he's like, I don't care. It's got to be dialed. It's got to be the way he wants. I mean, he's He's an engineer at heart. Actually, his background, he was a web developer too, and he's just like, I got to get into something else. And then he had his meetup and his Kickstarter. I mean, it's an awesome story. I'm sure I'm probably telling you stuff you guys already know. Yeah, he's authentic. Yeah, he is. And I don't know if you guys knew this, but he's like a background as a pastor and stuff like that too. He's from the Midwest. He's from I want to say Kansas. I think he claims Kansas. But just an awesome dude. And he's hilarious too. He's hilarious. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of respect for Printerbot. I was really, really, really lucky to meet him and get to go down there and help out. And I love what they're doing with Adopt-A-Bot, and I'm stoked. I'll tease like what I'm doing. So the Adopt-A-Bot, he was nice enough, and I know this is not sanctioned, because I actually approached him before Adopt-A-Bot was actually like fully a thing, and I'm like, it was still like a little fragment in his head, and he's like, man, I got so many parts, like we got to do something, we got to get them to schools. In fact, some of you, I think Cowboy was on the Twitter stream for it, and I was just like, I'm in, because I think he was asking, he's like, I got to find an intern. I'm like, I'll be your intern. I'll go down there. Yeah, sure, whatever. I'll help you build printers for a day or something. And he's like, hit me up. And I did. And I went down there and we hit it off. And I went back the next week. And I'm going back tomorrow. And we're just having a good old time, man. It's a trip. But anyway, he gave me 3. And I know that that's not kosher as far as the plan goes, because everybody's only supposed to get 1. But when you go down and you personally help get the thing rolling, you get 3. And one of them's going to my son's school. One of them is going to a school in inner city Philadelphia that's not too far from Matt's neck of the woods. And I'm actually going to go see Matt out on the way to New York Maker Faire, World Maker Faire, baby. And I'm bringing the printer with me to deliver to the school personally and do a training sesh with the teacher. And this teacher, guys, will blow your mind. Like, she is legit. Like, I found her randomly online. She was featured. She's award-winning. The Milken Award for teaching is like, they claim they're like the Oscars for like teaching awards. And so I struck up a relationship with her just on the filament side of things, because she was buying her own filament for her MakerBot. She bought her own MakerBot for her classroom out of her own pocket. This is not donated money. Like, she believed in it and was so excited about it herself that she's coming out of her own pocket and she's buying filament. And I found this out, and I was just floored. I mean, like, think about all the filament and stuff that's being given away to just reviewers and people like us, where it's just like, like, there's value and stuff to it there, but I'm like, come on, man, like that is not a noble cause, right? And if she had just had some connection to the community or the industry, like, people would just be throwing stuff at her. I mean, like, this is a classic story, like, inner city, total poverty, every kid's on, assisted lunch program. The school's like struggling for donations and stuff like that, and they're printing, prosthetics for people, for animals. They're doing like all these like amazing. I mean, it's a phenomenal story. So I'm stoked to be able to be taking a Printrobot. She didn't know. She was just saying, she's like, I'm really saving up this year to get another printer, because like we are just like, I'm running this thing 24/7. She's got a MakerBot Gen 5 that she's just running ragged. Blew up the extruder, had to get another one. And anyway, was just, so bummed that she couldn't print more, because like she wants to be able to do more of these like prosthetics, and I think she's got another program she's working on this year, and she's like, so my goal this year is like saving up enough so that I can like have filament to like print all the things that we want to print, and get another printer so that we can like do more good. And I heard that, and I'm like, I got to find out how to do this. And it was just right in line with like Brooke's thing. And so when Brooke gave me the 3, I'm like, I know exactly where one of these is going. So one's going to Philly, one's going to my son's school, and then the third one, I have another contact also through this award program. Same kind of story in Georgia. A lot of poverty, but really gung-ho teacher that could probably use it. So if I can get the coin together, I may take it out there. I'm going to see how this first pilot goes. I want to try to record it, maybe get a little PR around it to see if we can like get some excitement and like really show like this is where the rubber meets the road. Because that's where my passion is. My passion's on the teaching side. You know, Brooke is hardcore into the equipment. Like, so he's got blinders on. I don't want to say blinders, dude. Like I said, the guy, his heart is in the right place. His head's in the right, and he's just really focused right now on getting, you know, equipment to the teachers, and that is only half the battle. I want to shake the dude because we were getting into it the other day, and you know he doesn't disagree. I don't think he disagrees. That's just not where I think his passion and his head is. And so I think this could be a really cool collaboration because with some of my teaching contacts and, you know, connecting industry and the community, you know, because it's about the tech, it's about getting equipment, and it's also about getting support and getting makers involved because I guarantee you, when this printer bot breaks and she's going to run this thing ragged and it's going to need parts and stuff like this, I'm not going to be able to fly out and deal with that. You know, I'll be happy to try to remote, but what I'd ideally want is to find somebody local that can help support her, you know, that might be able to zip down there and stuff like that. And who knows? Like I really think there's a ton of makers out there that would be happy to do that. But maybe I'm being overly optimistic. I don't know. Yeah, it is awesome, and I really hope that I can do more of it. I'm really passionate about education. I mentioned earlier, Matt, that I'm doing a class for the first time at our library next month. Just a Tinkercad class. I've never actually taught a class before, but we're gonna see how this goes. I'm pretty good at Tinkercad, and I've taught my son, and we've gone through it, so I'm pretty sure I can teach some people at the library. And then we're gonna do some classes for my son. They don't have any 3D printing or anything going on. You know, we're pretty rural out here, and so like we're the last people that anybody's thinking of tech-wise. So I'm excited to be bringing that kind of stuff. So I like to think I bring a lot of value, and you know, I really like to evangelize for the technology, and really try to connect the tech ed side. I mean, I really have a place in my heart for that stuff. I've been to the conferences, I've done that, and I would love, you know, to get some hype together. Not hype. I mean, this is real deal stuff, man. Rubber meets the road here on these first pilot cases, and if we can get the word out, see if we can get some more involvement. So, you know, maybe printing and building a printer ain't your thing, but you want to teach some design class or just some basic intro to it. I think it's rewarding. I think we can put together some instruction on how people can do it in their own kids' classrooms or their grandkids' classrooms. And it's fun. It's fun. I mean, like, I'm having a blast with it, right? It's like I get to teach other people. I get to print. So, you know, I got to figure out how to make it sustainable. You know, Repkord tries to sponsor stuff, but, you know, I'm such small potatoes right now, and I need to grow it. So, you know, I don't know. Hopefully more of these, do some more word of mouth, and go. So, yeah, I really do think I would love to do a recap or just a redux on the community thing, because I think this is gonna be an ongoing thing. This is an evergreen story, man. And I don't think it's gonna be hard. I think people are excited to contribute. You know, Brooke has been sharing the interest with me and with everybody online. Like, people are fired up. And it's one thing to sign up for a list and all that stuff. It's a whole nother thing to actually get your butt in the car and drive down to a school and do a class or help a teacher or actually build something and send it. So, you know, the proof is in the pudding, and I challenge people to, like, do it, man. Like Shia. Do it! Seriously. Because it's a lot of fun, and it helps out everybody, and it's the future. These are translatable skills. These are skills that even if kids don't get into, you know, printing and manufacturing, if they get into 3D modeling, for game design, for architecture, for any of the other, like, hundreds of applications that, you know, that's good, usable skills. And I am honored to be able to help in some small way. So, okay, I'll get off my soapbox. That wasn't even on the thing. I wasn't going to talk about education, but yeah, let's get a recap or a redux or a revisit on that on the Friday night hangout, man. I think that'll be cool. Ice cream sandwich. That is on the list. Do you? I don't want to. You don't want me to eat an ice cream sandwich in front of you guys. Matt, you're going around to your local librarian to go to the county librarian to get somewhere. Dude, really? You know what's funny about that is we have a they call it like the TCC at our place, or the Tech Center Central or something like that, and there was like an actual librarian dedicated to like the computers and all that stuff. And I approached her originally because I went to a class at that was just like how to get certified on the printer. And I was like, you know, I've got a background. I'm happy to volunteer. If you guys want, you know, if you want me to do it, it doesn't sound like you have any design classes. And people are asking like, how do I actually make something to print? And she's like, oh yeah, that could be a good idea. And then I didn't hear anything from her for like a month and a half. And I was like, well, I guess they don't want my help. I mean, and then I actually emailed her to follow up. I'm like, hey, I'm excited to help. How do I help? And then she literally emailed me like a week and a half ago, finally, after like a month and a half, and was like, hey, are you still interested? Like, I'm putting the schedule together. And so it's just, I don't know, maybe it's just the pace that people move or whatever, but you would think that you know, people would be a little bit more excited to have some free volunteer help and tech-centric stuff. Single car garage, satellite branch, huh? Well, hey man, start somewhere. Who cares? You got space, you got some computers, you bring your own stuff. Good night, cowboy. Thank you. I will keep fighting the good fight. Have a good night, brother. Thanks for staying up, man. It's super late in Austin, I know. We are worldwide, dude. And we got 8 people now? We're growing. Who else came? Oh, Cowboy's about to bounce off. Who else showed up? All right, we got Dustin. You still hanging with me? Let's see. Sponsor something. Donate, discount, filament. Dude, if I could, I would give away filament all day long to schools, man. Like, I've talked to 3 teachers now that were like, I've been buying filament out of my own pocket, and I like, it blows me away, man. Like, I grew up in Silicon Valley, like different place for sure. But dude, like, tech was everywhere. Every startup is trying to donate stuff to schools. I mean, it's a classic case of like the haves and the have-nots, right? It's like wealthy people living in one place, and their kids get the primo stuff going to their school, and it sucks, man, because it's like they're not the ones that need it or appreciate it most necessarily. So it's like, I want to take. It's like, I feel like this is my Robin Hood mission. I want to rob from the rich and give to the poor. It's not the poor, dude, but it's like, let's get a little more balance to it, because like, this isn't about socioeconomic status. You know, this is about like getting people excited about making and doing some good and giving back and finding another way to, like, you know, hone your own skills. I mean, it's one thing, you know, being able to do it yourself in your own office or your own, you know, living room or wherever you're printing, but it's a whole other thing to try to teach somebody else. I mean, like, I got mad respect for people that teach. Like I said, parents were both teachers, brother's teacher. I'm the apple that fell far from the tree in that regard. But, you know, I'm excited to be, you know, trying to do my part now, and I'm hoping to catch up a little bit. I don't think I could do it full time as much as I love kids and stuff like that. Other people's kids. I don't know. But no. Seriously though, it's I think it's awesome, and I'm glad that people are excited. But I really want to see action. Like, you know, talk is cheap, people. Come on now, let's see what happens. All right. Let's see. Cowboys gone. We lost. We're losing them again. Okay. All right. Let's see. Wait. Oh, your librarian thinks you're trying to sell her something? Maybe that's what my problem was too, because I gave her filament, and like her first response was like, well, you know, we don't have a lot of funding to buy. I'm like, I'm not trying to sell you anything. Like, I genuinely want to give you this because they had like, it was pathetic what they had going on, and they think that like I have to buy the tiny MakerBot spool and it costs $50 for the small spool and it's the only thing that'll work. I'm like, PLA is PLA, yo. Yeah, dude, just I follow up, or there's got to be. Is the library the only place in York, or like you got other ideas of where you'd want to go? Huh. That's a bummer. Aspie, what is up, dude? Thank you for stopping by, man. I'm getting more. I'm never going to sleep now. I'm totally jacked up, dude. We were just showing off your handiwork and your little baby handiwork. Oh man, we have been. I don't know if I have it in me to recap, dude. Ryan, I'm so stoked you're here, buddy. I'm thinking this is a joke. Like, I'm gonna be talking to myself in this live stream. Like, nobody's gonna jump on. What's going? Like, and then to find out that like Joel was doing a stream too. After I was like, nobody's streaming tonight, and I'm like, oh, I'm not competing with that. So, but hey, man, I'm glad you're joining us. Thank you so much. Just woke up. Dude, isn't the world is crazy, man? Time zones blow my mind. People are sleeping right now. People are up and running around. Matt's about to go to work. Oh, man. Greg is in the house, too. Oh, dude. What the heck, dude? Are you up early, too, or are you just night owling? You just off of, like, a 24-hour, like, marathon of Call of Duty? What is going on? Greg the Great in the house. Oh, dude, it's getting real now. I feel like I'm gonna have to bring my A game. I've been bringing some pretty good game. You can talk to people here. I mean, for a noob at live streaming, we've been having a good damn time. I haven't even gotten to fire up the printers because we've been talking about AdoptedBot. We've been talking about printing TPU. We've been talking about Aspie's handiwork and how hard it is to print tiny stuff. I am so new to I put this on a 0.2 nozzle. And it needs work, Ryan. I apologize for slaughtering your precious Pegasus. Okay. Well, I don't know. I don't know if it's that exciting to rewatch it. It's a little rough in the beginning where it was like I couldn't even figure out. I'd never run OBS before. Dustin's cracking up because he's like streaming pro. Greg, you're probably streaming pro too. And I've never run any of this. I'm thinking, I'll get a live stream going. How hard can it be? I'll just get on YouTube and click go. And it's like, oh no, you gotta have software. And I'm like, okay, I guess I'll get this OBS stuff. I'm down with OBS. Yeah, you know me. And it's all downhill at this point now that Greg's here. Oh man. Are you kidding? I'm fired up, man. I'm fired up that Greg's here. I wish I could see that dude. I've never even seen that dude. I'm pretty sure he might not even be, he could be a bot. I got on his channel. All it was like video game action. What was it? It was Battlefield or something he was playing. Oh, dude, you guys are the best. Yeah, no, we're rocking it here. Having a good old time. I was saying I'm going back to Printrbots in the morning, but not for like 8 hours. And I'm taking Biggs with me. That's my son. He's 7. We're gonna crank out some more bots. We're having a good old time. I think we actually got most of the stuff. Like Brooke he's just stoked to have cheap labor. Let's be honest here. He's just using people to clear out his warehouse. No, actually, like we put together a lot of stuff. I wish you could see the hodgepodge of like beta pieces, and it's hilarious because it was like getting into the mind of Brooke, where it was like, oh, dude, and he was like walking down memory lane where he's like looking at these milled blocks that he had and stuff, and he was like, oh no, wait, this one goes with this piece and this, and like seriously, we spent like half the day just trying to marry up all the different iterations of like alpha and beta versions of pieces and stuff, and it was all like workable pieces, but he'd like rob parts off of one thing to rob Peter to pay Paul, as it were. And so we're just running around looking for stuff and labeling it and then mislabeling it, relabeling it. And so it was slow going at first, but then once we started moving, we started getting some cool stuff together. and I say we, like I helped out like a little bit. Like he had, you know, his guys doing it, and like he moved. I was surprised, man. He was just pulling stuff off of his shelves of Printerbot history. Like I swear he gave away like the original like Smalls or something like that. And I'm like, dude, don't you want to like keep that for a museum someday or something? He's like, no, let's just get it over to a school. I mean, the guy is like, he's on a whole he's like next level, like in terms of like getting just he doesn't care. He seriously, he doesn't. I mean, he doesn't care about money. He doesn't care about like status or PR or marketing. He sees something. He's like, we're gonna do it, and we're gonna go, and to heck with what people think. And sometimes he was saying like his whole model is shoot, ready, aim. Like he said that on his stream the other night, and it's like it's spot on. Like he's got the ADHD gift like I do too, where it's like, ooh, shiny. I'm gonna go do that now. And so it's like right now he's all about, you know, printer belt and what is it? Not Eichler. It's his multi-headed Hydra beast of a printer that he's building that like has independently moving gantries for like it's a 3-headed monster, and it's legit. It's got like an air traffic control program so that the heads don't like run into each other. It's wild. Yeah, he is legit. Dude, Greg, we were talking about you earlier. We were talking about the Smalls and getting that Z-axis dialed and stuff. Curtis was saying you guys have had to compare notes on getting that Smalls dialed in. Squirrel! That's ooh, yeah. Squirrel. Did you catch that? Dustin, on my Make the Maker vid I did the other day where I punked my dog with the squirrel? That's a good watch. Let's see. Yeah, exactly. 3 Simple Pro on one bed, like one long bed. Nice, Dustin. #1 fan right there, buddy. I'd throw you some spools or something, but I'm not geared up like Jatman is. Let's see. I need a bot, dude. I need a bot to do my dirty work. You know what I really want? What I really want is a drone. I would name it Skybot, and it would just follow me around and just film everything, because it is a pain to have to like film what you're doing. It takes everything. It makes everything take like 5 times longer, and I just want to do it right. And I'm like, wait, no, I did it, and I didn't get a good shot of that, or that sucked, or whatever. Or I said something stupid, or I cussed, or I don't know. But it is. It's like Ryan. It's like the stacker. You're totally right. But it's gonna be like 100 times cheaper, and it like in true Brook form, he just like, no, I'm gonna do that, and then he's gonna roll it out and. But I mean, that's the thing with shoot, ready, aim, is it's like if you're gonna be on the bleeding edge, like that's why I was this close to actually pulling the trigger on a printer belt, and I'm glad I didn't. I mean, I've been happy that I got to kind of see up close and personal like how the sausage is made there. I'm not saying that it's bad, because it's legit, but I mean it's like the first gen anything. I'm very averse to adopting first gen anything, and when it comes to maker, stuff, like I got some skills, so it's like I'm confident, like I could get in there and I could make it work. But the truth is, after seeing how rapidly Brook is iterating on stuff, like there's gonna be like one with like twice as big of a bed that prints 5 times as fast and just cranks out metal or something like within a month. So, what? What are you talking about, man? Get with Casey Neistat. Yeah, right. That's some oh yeah, for the drone. Yeah. No, I hear you, dude. I dig his stuff, man. I love his production value, and he's cut from the same cloth too, where he's just like, he's not afraid to do it. I love the cut of his jib, if you know what I'm saying. But yeah, dude, Skybot, that would be super handy. Like, and I know they've got drones now that will actually track and follow, like sports drones and stuff like that. But I'm talking, I need one that can get in like right here, get all up in my personal space, and get some tight macro shots so that I can, I can be free and work, and I'll probably end up like lacerations from prop wounds and stuff like that. Legit. Yeah, he has done some crazy stuff. You almost crashed your DJI Mavic for the third time? Like almost how? Like this close and then recovered? You almost hit a tree, you got in some power lines. Have you almost lost it in the river yet? Yeah, Greg, where are you in New York? You're upstate, aren't you? Hold on. Wake up yet. Wake up. It is 1:22 a.m. Stardate. Hold on a sec, guys. There we go. Sorry. This is the noob trying to stream for the first time with some gear that might not be the best for it. I found an old handy cam that I brought back to life after shocking the crap out of myself on it. That's another story for another time, though. But anyway, I was using that for my streaming camera because the webcam on my computer is not up to snuff. Yeah. That camera is a Sanyo 8 FH1. Like, actually like a little handy cam dealio. And it's a legit camera. I got that thing, my wife's grandfather gave it to us when my son was born like 7 years ago. And we've since moved on to just using our phones to film everything, because the best camera to have is the one that you have on you all the time, and I don't want to carry around a little handy cam, even though it's pretty tiny. But it was doing like legit 60 frame a second 1080p back then, and that was pretty cutting edge at the time. But I'm just running it through a capture card, and I've got my Canon mirrorless too that's pretty awesome that I've been trying to stream with too, but that doesn't have a clean HDMI out on it, and they're not geared for this unless I can figure out some kind of hack. Maybe if I'm recording or something on it where it doesn't go to sleep after a specific amount of time. So I know, dude. Everybody's got the C920, or I was looking at the 930s with the built-in encoder, which might be a good way to keep some of the load off the computer. You still have a high 8 camcorder. It takes actual tape. You are old. Yeah, Tony, isn't it? It's past your bedtime right now. You can't be that old, man. I just got rid of it wasn't a high 8. It was a mini DV cam though. That was like my original stuff. When I was originally doing Vudu, I was filming on a mini DV where I would like have to do a capture, like a real-time capture of my footage. Dude, that was painful. Yeah, Cyber Dustin, $450 for what? $50? No. What are you talking about? You talking about the webcam? All right, dude. Wait, Greg is getting back to us on his Mavic adventures. Don't tell no one. Fly around 500 meters. What? Dude, you better hope the FAA doesn't get wind of that. We're hush hush here though, dude. We're not gonna narc you out. Flying minding his own business when out of the blue a building came out of nowhere. They do that. Those sneaky buildings. Greg, dude, rein it in, buddy. You don't want to lose a Mavic. Although they're getting down there. I like the looks of it. I personally do not own a camera platform drone. I do. Repkord owns a FPV drone that I have donated to the local circuit, the local race circuit that my buddy is running, and he is tricking the thing out for me. But I don't have goggles or any of that gear yet. I definitely don't have time for another hobby right now. But Repkord was happy to sponsor and stuff, and so I guess we technically own the thing, and so maybe someday I'll get into FPV. Who knows? All right, what else we got going on in chat here? Yeah. Dude, Ryan's wants to get one. Dude, they're a lot of fun for sure. I'm almost like trying not to because I know if I got one, I would just like do nothing but fly the thing around all the time. And let me tell you something. Where I live, like I wish you could see the email chain from like the neighborhood forum that I'm part of because like 90% of the people that live here like barely know how to work their computer to email. Like probably most of them don't. But the ones that do, they're like these crotchety old curmudgeons and they'll be like, I saw one of them drones the other day, and if it comes flying over my house, I'm gonna shoot it down. And the classic, just like, this is such an invasion of privacy, and like people flipping out over the drones, and like they don't realize like one, you don't own the airspace over your house. Like as counterintuitive as that is, like actually like I can actually set up a camcorder on a pole and stick it up and point it like into my neighbor's yard, and I'm totally in my right to record them. It's a I'm legally allowed to, but it's a dick move. But you can do it. The restriction is you're not allowed to film where somebody should have a reasonable expectation of privacy, and this is U.S. law. I have no idea what it's like for you in Wales, Aspie, or anybody else that's watching from overseas. I don't know how many overseas viewers we have right now. But yeah, that's the deal. The catch to that is you can't audio record because there are wiretapping laws that prevent that. But if you were just recording video, you can record your neighbor sunbathing naked in their backyard, as perverted and weird as that is. You're not going to be very good friends with your neighbors. But anyway, where I live, very unaware and antiquated thinking and heavy gun ownership population. So I don't doubt that if I flew around here, my drone would be in risk of being shot down if I wandered too far in one direction, even if I was legally allowed to be there. But I don't know. It'll be interesting to see as the law catches up with that, because technically somebody shoots down your drone and your drone crashes into something, then they're responsible for that damage and they owe you for your drone and any chaos that causes. So, a lot of people think that they're right and just by doing it, but it's not the case. So wait, Greg, you never answered my question, man. Are you upstate, or are you like, you're not Manhattan, New York, are you? Do want to fly in more open areas like upstate here. Buildings get much interference, but I don't drive. Oh, maybe you are a Manhattanite. Yeah. Yeah, people don't know the law, and they do. They do talk a lot of. I haven't set. This is my first stream, and I haven't set policy on cussing. But I do a Rep Kids series. I have nothing against cussing. I enjoy a good cuss from time to time. And I don't care if you're doing it in the chat. I don't have any moderation going on or anything like that. And right now, I guarantee you there's no kids watching or any of this stuff. But I guess these are things I have to consider if I'm going to be doing more live streams. So I guess I'll just avoid doing it in case somebody watches the recording. But I can say redneck. Yeah, I don't have a problem saying redneck. There's some legit rednecks out here. Only people worried about their privacy are people with stuff to hide. Yeah, I would generally agree with that. I've gotten in some pretty heated discussions with my dad about that, Ryan. He's a kind of a principled guy. And his whole notion around that is that even if I don't have anything to hide, if I someday felt like I were to become a revolutionary and wanted to speak out against the government, I don't want to have to worry about being locked up for it or any of that stuff. I don't tend to worry about stuff like that. I'm more of a speak my mind kind of guy, and I don't feel like I have anything to hide, and I don't really care what you think of me. But yeah, my wife hates that. I think I was blessed with an abundance of vanity or overly healthy self-esteem, but whatever. Yes. No, dude, you don't have to apologize, Greg. I really don't care. Like, I cuss like a sailor when the cameras aren't pointed at me. Not really. I don't know. It's totally Lucky's fault. We're gonna blame it on him. I like that. Let's see. All right, Matt wants a photography, videography drone, racing drone later. Yeah, I dude, it would be handy, but you know what? I would rather have a camera crew. I just don't want to have to like deal with like the selfie thing, and I mean I never filmed this, but like I bought 3 different like rigs so I could do like hands free stuff. So when I'm doing like my vids, like you're not looking at my ugly mug as much as just my hands like working on stuff. I feel like that's a little bit more interesting because people want to see what's going down, what's happening. And I've been trying out these different ones, and you know each one kind of has its strength and weakness, and you know whether you have something like mounted to your head or your neck or like kind of suspended around your torso. I even have one that's like this little vest that's like for a selfie style where it's like just right in your face right here, so you can like kind of flip it around. But I don't know, it's weird. Yeah, the racing drones. There's those racing circuits are popping up everywhere, man. Have you seen the Drone Racing League, Greg? The DRL. It's getting popular. In fact, didn't Maker Faire Bay Area? They had a whole exhibition, I think, on the indoor like racing. I didn't get to go because I was on vacation. I'm bummed. I'm actually going to New York Maker Faire before I go to Bay Area Maker Faire, which is way closer to me. But yeah. Yeah, $1 million drone racetrack built somewhere. I'm sure there is. Probably in Dubai, right? Like somewhere overseas. I'm talking about this stuff right now. Hachiro, I remember that I need to charge my lipos. Hachiro, welcome. I don't know that I've met you, but thank you for tuning in. The DRL has a simulator. It's pretty good. There you go. If you're into FPV, check it out. So looks like we've got a certified drone racer amongst us. So how many packs did you run today, Hachiro? Am I saying that right? Hachiro? Achiro? Apologies if I'm slaughtering that. Let's see. Did I ever see how Jimmy Dresta does his FPV for his videos? No, but I want to. Should I check that out? You probably can't send links on chat. Matt, you gotta school me, dude. How do I make you a moderator? You probably have to go. Aren't you supposed to be going to work or something? What time is it, dude? In Pennsylvania, it's like 4:30 right now. You got up early, dude. Let's see. They did. It was pretty good. Don't worry about the name. I've only flown freestyle. Haven't raced yet. Okay. All right. So you're not hardcore yet. All right. You're gonna take a nap. Family picnic at the park. You folks, dude. Tony, thank you for being one of my first viewers of my live streaming experiment. I'm guessing this will have to be something I do every once and now and again. Who knows? We'll see. But have a good night, my friend. Hopefully we can connect again soon, okay? Let's see. I haven't flown a while. Tomorrow. Okay, so Hachiro's going back. He's going to do... Where are you located, Hachiro? He actually has a bite, a thing he bites down on. Hold the camera. But how... If you... Why would you do that? Why would you hold the camera in your mouth? How are you supposed to talk? I mean... Okay, so then now you've got to do... See, this is exactly counterintuitive to the whole point, though, Matt. If you got something in your mouth, like, I don't want to have to do all this extra editing where I'm going to have to sync up or do dubs later and video. Like, I really want to be able to, like, my thing is I want to get decent content out on a more regular basis, which means less video editing involved, right? I don't want it to be totally raw. But I don't want to have to spend, like, mad amounts of hours doing Casey Neistat style edits and overlays and like all that stuff, because I mean, one, he's got a team that can do that kind of stuff for him, and two, it's like I just got a million other things I'm doing. But you know, telling the story is an important part of the gig, and you know, I feel like I got a lot of interesting stuff going on, a lot of projects I've got on my queue that I really want to film and share and get out there, but it's tough when it's just me. So you know, I'm gonna have to build an automaton, or entrust my my son or children better as my film crew. I don't know, or my wife. She's a little less into it. I still get the eye rolls from her, but you know, whatever. We're having a good time with it. Denver, Colorado, in the house, dude. Well, thank you. One of my best friends is out in Denver. I was out there a little over a year ago now for the ISTE conference out there. That was my first time in Denver. Awesome city. Got a really bitchin' laser etching from a guy at the show there of downtown Denver that still hangs in my foyer. It's not a foyer. That's douchey. Sorry. It's the entryway to the house. He doesn't talk during his videos. Not if it's okay. So maybe he doesn't feel like he needs to talk. Yeah, one-shot videos. You know, I don't know. I'm a fan of jump cuts. What I like to do is I'll do the one take, and then I try to throw up some gang signs or signals to myself. So in edit, I'm like, yeah, that was the one. Cut it there, and get it out quick. I like to think I'm pretty slick with Premiere now. I've been rocking Premiere since like the early days. In fact, I wish I still had it. Like, I just got rid of like my copy of like Premiere 4 or something like that. I mean, early days when it was like like I said, you had to download your footage real time, and it was just like painful. Took forever to edit video. The beginnings of digital video editing. If I hover over your name in the hamburger menu, it should pop up. Okay, let's see, hamburger. No, wait. This hamburger. Manage moderators, boom. And paste the moderator's channel URL. What? Why can't I just type your name? Alright, so I need, what do you, like, what's your channel URL, Matt? I should know this. Do I have to look that up? DRL looks sick. You've not seen the DRL before, Ryan? The Drone Racing League, baby. Sorry, catching up. Tony and I and his family is having our huge picnic later today, too. Alright. Oh, dude, family picnics. Alright. Oh, I see what you're talking about. Dude, I'm such a noob. Add moderator. Boom. How I do... And like that, I bestow upon you. I dub thee moderator Matt. Do not abuse the privilege. Use it only for good, my friend. There can be only one. Testing. Yeah, okay, so what did you do? I'm not sure what the testing is, Matt. Send a link, but not anything smutty. Oh, I see. I click the name of the chat and then add moderator. That's, you got it. Okay. Yeah. Put him in the sin bin! Dude, is there a sin... Can we do that? Can I make a penalty box? Big time... I never shared that about me. I'm a big time hockey fan, though. And you're gonna laugh at me because I'm a Sharks fan, and like all you East Coasters are gonna be like, "Oh, they're not a real hockey team." They were this close. I was at Game 6 where they lost to the Pens last year. I cried. It was sad, man. Haven't had a chance. Oh, to tune and watch the Drone Racing League. Yeah, legit. Some of the stuff they're doing now with drones where you start flying in like 3D mode, they call it 3D mode, where it's like you can get inverted. What were we doing? We were communicating. Who knows what that's from? Love that reference. Pens, come on, Dustin! You're gonna be the first in the sin bin. Pens can lick my... Never mind. Yeah. Dynasty and all, dude. Come on, the Sharks haven't even won a... They gotta win just a cup. Just once, man. The Ducks have won a cup, for Christ's sake. Now you got me talking about hockey. This is digression. We've gone to, like, level 7 digressions now here. Dude. Go Pens. What? You're, like, in the Midwest, man. Why do you care about the Pens? Shouldn't you be, like, a Chicago fan or something? NFL, yeah, Niners, sadly. I know. To my sports, I'm sure my sports cheering is not, or my my sports teams are probably laughed upon by the rest of the community, but whatever. Steelers Pens for life since birth. Are you a Pittsburgh dude? Are you from? Did I know that? 3D flying for drones is when you can make motors spin the opposite direction, right? So you can fly upside down. That's what I was talking about. 3D mode, getting inverted, and like doing like crazy acrobatic stuff where you're going through loops and then like boom, like getting upside down, and that's crazy stuff. Bears are all right. Come on, dude. Urlacher, the neck. Oakland fan. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about then, man. You wish you were from Pitt. What's holding you where you are, dude? You can move. You do you. You want to be in Pittsburgh? You can ask Matt, though. It's probably not all it's cracked up to be. Your favorite hockey team is the LA Lakers. Yeah, mine too, Greg. Basketball is like the one sport I'm just like, I'm not that into. Like, it's fine. Like, I'll watch it, but I never played. It always like conflicted with all the sports I did growing up, and just never got into the basket. If I like basketball, I like college basketball. I like watching a little bit more like teamwork and sportsmanship, and a little less showboating, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, Ryan, check out 3D mode drone, or do a YouTube search for like 3D flying drones. You'll see it's nuts. Nuts. Football, yes. What, so the New York Football Giants is your team? Don't tell me. Don't tell me it's or is it the Jets? Benny and the Jets. Not a big city fan. He's out in the country. Okay. Yeah, well, see, I'm with you, brother. We're out on 5 acres, man. I'll go and visit. I've got family in San Francisco, but I would never live in a city. They're the first ones to die come the apocalypse. Me, I like, I wouldn't say I'm a prepper, but I do all right. I do all right. Yeah, you'll, all right, when you find that camera bite, I want to see it. I think that's a little whack, but, I mean, I get it, because it's, like, right there. I'm wondering, maybe it's so he can monitor, too? Is he doing the bite so that he can, like, actually look at the screen while he's filming? Because, like, the one I have is right here. Now we're doing impromptu product reviews. This is not a sponsored ad. I'm supposed to say that, right? We have the point of view selfie hands-free cam accessory, which I applaud in its simplicity. We didn't know we were going to be doing product reviews. Yeah, you're living in a borough. Yeah, you don't like nosy neighbors, huh? You would be interested in nosy neighbors because everyone around here doesn't like nosy neighbors is growing weed. This is weed capital, one of the weed capitals of California. And it's all legal now, so everyone's going bananas. So this little dealio is like, it's kind of like the bite, but it just goes around your neck. And you just throw your camera. My camera. Here, you throw your phone. It's got a phone mount. And it's very stylish. I mean, it's not bad, but you're gonna like crane your neck. You know, if you're trying to monitor, it's not great. So maybe in that case, like the bite thing would be better. But like the angle actually for like recording your hands is pretty good, or whatever else you wanted to record down below. But Greg is flying his drone over now. Yeah, so that's that guy, and that's not what I use regularly because it's just too limiting and you can't really sport it around. Actually, it's not that heavy around your neck, and it's just plastic, just some polycarbonate. Actually, this might be ABS. No, that's polycarbonate. Plastics engineering. Then I got this dude, which is just stupid. It's just stupid. These were things I got 3 things, not because I intended to review or use all 3, but it was because like I knew I wanted something, and I'm like I got them all on Amazon. I'm just gonna return the ones that I don't want. But here's what's hilarious. Check out the chest mount. And their model they used that has a mustache. I don't know why. It's a mannequin with a mustache. Probably because it's funny. I have no idea. But whatever. I did try it on. It's like like the straps are elastic around you, and like any motion whatsoever, like even if you have the thing cinched down like crazy, like just goes whoop, whoop, whoop. So it's like bouncing all over the place. Terrible design. Matt just puts a GoPro between him and whatever, and that doesn't always work exactly, because I find there's an art to it, right? Because one, sometimes it's in the way, or there's nowhere to like put the tripod stand or whatever, and the other thing is if you're trying to like monitor like the frame, like that you're in frame and stuff, like while you're doing it, and like watching, it's very disorienting to try to like watch your own hands being filmed, and be precise. It's not to say that it couldn't be done, but I think it's almost better to not be trying to watch what you're doing in the camera. I think if you frame the shot so that you're close, that's probably ideal. Yeah. What is it? Super Troopers, dude. That's Greg. I applaud you for bringing up Super Troopers. That's one of my all-time favorites. It's powdered sugar. It's delicious. And Mother of God. Yeah. All right. That's enough movie impressions and stuff. So, wow, this is an unprecedented. I've gone 3 hours now. I'm probably gonna have no voice tomorrow. Although to be fair, there was no audio for the first 20 minutes, so it's only been 2 hours 40 minutes. Yeah. Hey, you guys like Mexico? I didn't give you the full inflection on that one, Greg. You boys like Mexico? If you haven't seen Super Troopers, put it in the queue. It's classic. Hilarious. Alright. You guys are cracking me up, man. Hey, Matt, what are all these other buttons on the chat thing? Are these just smileys that I can do? I can send somebody a cake. And a basketball for... Or is like a... I need like a... I don't know what I need. Dustin needs like a... You have been respawned 5,000 times emoji. I've watched you stream your gameplay, dude. No, I'm messing with you. I don't remember what it was you were playing. Like you were playing like Battlefield or something. You were getting worked. It might have been Call of Duty. I don't know. Yeah, Aspie. Hey, I wasn't kidding, Aspie, when I said that you have a new #1 fan. Like my my daughters. In fact, I was trying to get a second print. I started running a second print, but then I realized I didn't have the filament I wanted loaded, so I canceled it. And I was gonna reslice and do a jet black unicorn, like the one of the horsemen of the apocalypse, but in a unicorn form. Wait, now I can't get my emojis to go away. Dang it. I'm such a noob. Ugh. Just send that to people. Okay. Seriously, this is lame. Like, I can't make... No, I don't want to hide the whole chat. Oh my gosh. Go away. This is a bad sign. Is it that? Oh, yeah. Typewriter. Okay. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Respawn Lord. Yes, I got it. Thank you. It's a keyboard. I know how to interwebs. I swear I know how to interwebs. I'm a web developer. I feel like I should not be this poor at it. Everything I type now on must be in an emoji form. Well, that sounds like a fun little game, Matt. Oh, look at this. I got super chat. That's not at all saying anything, but it says I can send myself a super chat. I'm going to do that. I'm going to send myself money. I'm going to be rich. The keyboard button. Yep. I got it. I think the chat's pretty delayed from my stream. I had to buffer a decent amount based on the fact that I'm running on my Wi-Fi's. Next one of these I do, I'm gonna be way better prepared for. I'm gonna jack into the Matrix, and we're gonna get the hard line going, and we'll see. Hopefully we can up our game. Dustin's gonna help me get my rig configured. We're gonna have like 7 cameras going, and I'll be making quesadillas and eating that ice cream sandwich. Dude, is that what it is? Does YouTube get 20 cents on the dollar on Super Chat? That's a ripoff. Is that why everybody jumped to Twitch? Am I gonna get shut down for bad mouthing YouTube right now? Ah, okay. Okay. I'm learning the inside baseball on YouTube, on the YouTube deals. Yep, the unicorn. Aspie's got his unicorn. Pretty pony. Pretty pony. Yeah, dude, Matrix on Netflix? For real? They're getting some classics on there. Matrix was the first DVD I ever owned. And the first CD I ever owned, let me think about that, was, that might have been Weezer's Blue album. Not that you asked. What's the Matrix about? Shut your face, Greg. Are you serious? You can't be serious. Okay, God. Oh, God. You got punked by Greg the Great. That was a good one, buddy. Good one. Greg, does that rig that you have going, will that thing handle 4K video? Or it didn't look like it could. I was thinking, you know, does it have like a little S video out for playing on your old 13-inch Trinitron? The hammer! The band hammers are coming out. You can't ban Greg, dude. He's the color commentary. He's the joie de vivre that keeps everything interesting. I'm just honored to have the likes of Greg the Great and Ryan Aspie and Dustin and Chiro and Matt, and I've said all of my participants now. I think we've digressed well beyond the topics of 3D printing, and I've got no more energy to do builds. I got to get over to Printerbot and do some more tomorrow. So let's do this again soon. I think I'm gonna try to get some. I'm hoping I get a little footage tomorrow because I've been light. Like it's really not about touring Printerbot. We're really trying to get as much gear out to the masses, to the Adopt-A-Bot people as possible. So I'm really looking forward to getting back over there. Taking my son with me this time, so we'll see how much attention span he's got for it. But we're gonna clean out some nozzles, get some parts going, get some stuff, and maybe the next one of these I'll start working on dialing in the printer boards in the Simple Pros and getting these things tuned up, because I gotta have at least one of them ready by Maker Faire, before Maker Faire, when I go out to see my good friend Matt and stay with some fam out there. I'm looking forward to doing the New York thing. It's gonna be a good time. I think 3 hours is where I'm gonna call it, guys. I want to thank you for hanging with. I appreciate the support. I'm glad that some of you could jump in this for something that was meant to be an impromptu challenge by Cowboy. It's turned into something interesting. It's a lot of fun. I can see why people get into it. And yes, I'm gonna know where Matt lives. This is all part of the plan, Matt. It's a long con to find out where you live, because I'm nosy. I'm gonna get in your business, and then I'm gonna drop a glitter bomb on your ass. I already know way too much, huh? Way too much. All right, Dustin. Hey, hit me up a little bit later so we can connect on getting all of this dialed. I think I got some ideas. Get my equipment going. No tinfoil hat emoji for you. Hachiro, awesome seeing you. Hey, if you guys aren't all, I think you all are already, but if you're not following my YouTube and my Facebook, I'm gonna do the Twitter, all that stuff. Get on there. I like to think that I put out some good stuff. If I got Greg following me, I must be doing something right. So, trying to get the word out, trying to do a little bit more messaging. Obviously, I'm all over the place in terms of all the things I'm doing, but I've got a couple things in the can around 3D printing, a couple how-to things. Yes, we can talk about the cleaning kit. I like to walk that fine line between, little QVC talking product and just talking printing. I mean, pretty much every product that I have was born of some need as a maker, and so I love just sitting down and talking about why I made some decisions that I did and what might be good to improve on it. Like I'm kind of like Brooke in the regards where it's like I don't feel like I need to hold this close to my chest. I mean, one, this is just a nozzle cleaning kit, but I just find it way more enjoyable where it's like you get feedback and really great ideas from the community. I know I'm still working on actually my labeling thing. I got so much good feedback that I keep second guessing what I want to do. So the sales actually on the first 200 that I've sent to Amazon have been doing really well. Burning through those pretty quick. I haven't checked Seller Central yet, but I've got another 800. I was hoping to have something I could bundle with for the labeling, but it seems like the early adopters are at least not caring, just because like having a useful tool for cleaning nozzles that doesn't like break on them has been appealing. So yeah, I can totally talk about this some more. I can talk about a couple of the other ideas that I've got, things coming up. Matt, I bring my glitter wherever I want, buddy. All right. I'm not gonna glitter bomb your house. You're welcome for the stream. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you've got requests or ideas or things that you want to talk about, yeah, hit me up. Send me a tweet. Drop me a line. DM me. Whatever. I don't care. But let's plan to do this again. Find a time where we're not stepping on anybody else's toes. I know a lot of people are streaming a lot of different times, but Hey, man. Yeah, you did. Hachiro, have I met you on Twitter or anywhere else, bud? Like, the name isn't familiar. Are you just a YouTube guy? Yeah, seriously, why are people getting so many clogs in the first place? You know, if you're doing it right, you probably don't need... Hey! I feel like I don't want to even... I don't want to butcher it, but the cat is in the house. I am very honored that we have somebody visiting from Liechtenstein now. Now I feel like I can't jump off. This is great. This is awesome. Ugh. Oh man, I was just about to sign off, Kat. I'm so sorry. Like, I'm going back to Printrbots tomorrow, and I did feel like I needed to get a little bit of sleep. But you know, we could give it like 5 or 10 more, right? Come on. And then we should do a giveaway. Let's do a giveaway. I got 9 watchers now. You know what? Screw it. I'm gonna do a giveaway. Why not? I can do a giveaway. I don't know. I don't have fancy schmancy stuff like Jatman does, where he's like giving out spools and stuff like that. But like, how do we do that? I feel like I gotta be like, I'm thinking of a number between. How do we do it? Matt, moderator, dude, give me an idea. How do I do a giveaway right now? Greg will win it. Greg always wins everything, and plus, if you're in the penalty box, you can't win. All right, wait. Same here. How do I do it? As long as TPU, flexing, and jamming counts. You know what? I'm gonna forgive on TPU because that is a tricky beast. That is not for the faint of heart, and that is not for noobs. So you know you're gonna get jams on that. And TPE even more, and some of the like rubbers and other flex, like some of that, if you run it too hot, that'll just there's something chemically that happens inside the hot end that it'll like lock up on you. I've had a couple different flexibles that I've tested that if I ran up, I get them a little bit too hot and then boom, jam. So getting temperature right on them is important. But for those of you who weren't here earlier, my number one recommendation on flexible filament when we're talking TPU was calibrate, which it seems like a duh, and I hope it's something you're doing every time, but like calibrate your filament, make sure that when you indeed say you're extruding 100 millimeters or whatever your test length is, that you're getting 100 millimeters out. And that's you know, half the game right there. And then the rest is just start slow, no retraction, and there you go. And then have a handy dandy nozzle cleaning kit ready. No more shameless plugs. Okay, write all the names on small pieces of paper and make a lucky draw. Of course. See, okay, so it's like 2 o'clock here, and I'm delirious at this point. So I need people that are operating on better brain waves to come up with these things for me. Okay, that's what we're gonna do. Kat, thank you for that. I'm gonna write that. Now I gotta find paper. Here. How hard can this be? Oh, I know. And we're going to put it in the iris box. Yeah, or a fight to the death. Well, if you did that, Greg, if you fought to the death, then who is going to watch my streams? Now, I'm saying streams. Like, now I'm a streamer. I'm into streaming. I do this. Okay, look. Here, I got my clipboard. Hold on a second. Let's move the unicorn. I seriously wrestled that out of the sleeping arms of my daughter to show it to you guys. So I hope you appreciate that. Not really. She had since dropped it on the floor. But she did take it to bed with her. She is a huge fan. Okay, good. Dustin's my new streaming consultant. Because... Does this mean I'm gonna have to go to Twitch, or do I do? I mean, I don't care. I guess whatever works. But I mean, I wasn't even planning on being a streamer. Heck, is this how people get into it? It's just too much fun. All right, so right now, we've got 10. Wait, so who else came on? I've got 10 viewers now. It's like, I feel like I can't jump off now if like more people are coming on. Who else came on besides Kat? Hey, moderator, how do I tell who all my participants are or my watchers? Or is it only participants in the chat that I can see? I know that, because I only see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. See, I only see 8 of us in the chat, and one of them's me. But it says there's 10 watching, so I've got some spies or bots. Okay, get a giveaway. It's all the same package, not necessarily, but interaction would be better on Twitch. Streaming is a lot easier on Twitch. Okay, top right of the chat, 3 dots, participants. I saw that. But then when I look at the very top, it says there's 10 people watching. Oh, okay, so I got anonymous people. That kind of creeps me out. I don't know who they are, and they're watching me right now. No, it does. I don't know. Isn't that the whole point, right? Trying to build an audience. Log in, people. You're missing out. We're doing a giveaway. You gotta be in the chat, so I know you're here if you want to do the giveaway. And what are we gonna give away? Well, obviously we should do some filament, and it looks like I'm gonna if Kat's on, I've got to be able to ship international. So this could be potentially going to Liechtenstein. Let's do this. Let's give away. This is great because I've got my own swag I can just give away. I don't need to count on a sponsor. I can just sponsor myself. All right, here. Sorry, I'm off screen. I know that's bad form. Move some of these bajillions of boxes. All right, we'll definitely do a cleaning kit. We'll throw that in because if you don't have one, you need one. And if you have one, you need 2. And maybe, let's do a 4-pack. Let's do a 4-pack of the Mini Maker. I think Dustin can vouch for this stuff. Let's see. That's a 3-pack. Here, we'll go 4-pack. In my hand, I am holding a 4-pack of Mini Maker PLA, Repkord PLA filament. Now, we'll do a live unboxing. I'd like you to appreciate this attention to detail. Let me see here. I got it. Dude, I suck with my camera setup. Oh, card full. Go away. I'm such a noob. Don't pay attention to any of that. Okay. All right. So we're unboxing the 4-pack. Okay. Yes. Dustin's had it. He can attest to it. It's good stuff. So a little bit of background. Like I said, this was originally designed for education. So I know that when people are looking at my stuff from the maker community, they're like, yeah, that's not the best value. It was designed originally to go in MakerBots. And for schools that were buying MakerBot stuff, this is actually a smoking deal. For people that are just looking for like bottom of the basement value line stuff, it's not the cheapest stuff. I spend a lot of time sourcing stuff that I know is reliable and prints and will hold up and last and stuff like that. And so I put it in like a little sampler so that people that are just getting started but want to have a bunch of different colors don't necessarily need to commit to buying a kilo spool of each of those things. So for the price of, maybe a mid-range filament, you can get 4 different colors, say, for the price of like maybe 1 spool of proto pasta. What's a kilo of proto pasta run, guys? Like 35, 40, something like that? I think it depends on what it is, right? If Kat wins, she will create a review in your chat. Thank you, Kat. I hope you win. And maybe I'll send you some just to do as a review anyway. It's funny because like I didn't intend for this to really be, a reviewed competitive filament. Like it was really set up, for my education contacts and stuff. But whatever. It's PLA and it works great on every printer. And what I like about these spools, they fit. They're designed to fit in a MakerBot Mini. But they're great for like little, like the monoprices and stuff like that just have those little tiny spool holders on the side and stuff. And if you're just getting started, and my kids actually do the 3D pen, and I know you guys are probably like, the 3D pen sucks, but like actually these things are great. I have like a little rig that suspends us up above the table, and we'll do 3D pen drawing, and so I'll print out the things, and then we'll trace over them and make 3D things that way. So that's cool. Let's see. A name mouse 3545. Okay, so we've got. Let's get to this because you guys are probably itching to move on. And so we'll do a 4-pack just to get our feet wet in the giveaway department. Okay, so Dustin, you're saying 500 grams of protopasta for $29.99 is what they're doing. That's for the High Five Blue PLA. Okay, so I think I saw the 4-pack right now on sale for $35, and that's a kilo. Those are 250-gram spools, so it's a kilo total. So yeah, that's so it's a little bit more than well, but you're saying that's for 500 grams, so it's $60. So I don't know. I think it's a decent value, honestly, for what it is. And like I said, I only sell stuff that I use myself and print extensively, and so whatever. But I don't know. Like I said, I'm still like on the fence of whether or not I want to keep pushing filament as a thing, because it's a competitive space, and there's not a lot of margin in it, and there's a race to the bottom in terms of price. So as a seller, it's not necessarily a winner. It's not a loss leader necessarily, but if you're going to be in 3D printing accessories, you kind of have to have filament, is my line of thinking. Good. Thank you, Kat. I'm glad you're on board with the variety and the smaller sizes. I know it's not for everybody, but it's, not everybody's the target market, so I don't have a problem. And I don't print with my stuff exclusively either. I run, like right now I only sell PLA and ABS. I do have some ABS, but I use everybody else's stuff too, and I have no problem. I'm constantly wanting to test new stuff. I love doing different materials and all that stuff too. Like at the end of the day, I make a bunch of stuff like you guys do too, and this was originally established as a way to try to support my obsession. So people see a Repkord originally, they're like, oh, who's this? And they go to my website, and it's like, oh, it's a filament supplier. And I'm like, that's not really what I'm about. But yes, I mean, I have a website, and it's up there. I feel like I need to reconfigure it somehow. I'm not sure how. My website is the last one I always work on because I am a web developer by trade. And at the end of the day, the last thing I want to work on is another website. Okay. Cyber Dustin bought 2 rolls and will be keeping one sealed for a while. You gonna put it in the time capsule, buddy? Is that it? We're gonna have an unveiling for the history. Yeah, I'm aware, but you know what? It's a risk I'm willing to take, Kat. And hey, you know what? I'll tell you what. Aren't you? You're going to New York Maker Faire, right? If you win, I will bring you some to Maker Faire. How does that sound? You know what? I will bring you some to Maker Faire regardless. So one way or another, I will get you some filament. And then maybe you can fly it back duty free. I don't know how that's gonna work. Find a way to smuggle it into your suitcase. Hopefully we can meet up there. Would be perfect for those guys who bought into yes, thank you, Ryan. And I've been trying to actually track down somebody that has the multi-material kit that's not already sponsored by somebody else that I can just get this to, because I think it would look awesome just doing an unboxing and like loading it into that spool holder. And I also have them in the max size as well, which is more of a traditional 8-inch diameter or whatever that is in millimeters. That's like it's like a 20 millimeter diameter spool. But I love the clear spools. I have like a little bit of an obsession with this, and like my wife keeps telling me, she's like, are you seriously gonna spend money on getting these like custom ABS clear spools? Because like these are almost impossible to find in the States. I haven't found a supplier that does clear ABS. Like clear styrene Yes, but clear styrene is brittle and it cracks, and it is not what you want for a spool. There are people that do it, but I don't like cheaping out on stuff. So I spend a little bit more, which is another reason I'm a little bit more expensive too. But I think it presents nice. I like it. My little crafty design where I you know, did the window so you could see the filament through the R. I pat myself on the back for that. But anyway, I think these would look cool in the multi-material kit. Who has one that you guys know? Let's see. Anybody? Nobody on here has a multi-material kit, do you? Yeah, I'd love to get a Prusa too, Hachiro. Thank you. Somebody that appreciates good design. Ryan, kudos to you, my friend. Okay. Hey, my stream health just went to green for the first time tonight. I don't know what that means, but apparently we are full steam ahead now. Okay, good. Kat, we have a plan. So we gotta get to the drawing here though, because I think Matt needs to get to work. He's gonna make some money to go to New York Maker Faire. All right, we've got. Let's just pull up that list of participants that I learned how to do. All right, right now I'm seeing 3D printed Aspie. So we'll say Aspie. And don't judge my handwriting, people. Cat's on. Dustin. I feel like I gotta put our other people. You know what? I'm gonna do 2. Okay, we're gonna get because it looks like we lost Greg. Did we lose Greg? He's not on there anymore. Oh, he's on there. There he is. Sorry. But for Curtis and who else was on? Dr. Chris was on. So Curtis, Chris, and Cowboy. And then we got Matt. Can't forget Matt, my moderator. And Achiro. Rocking the... Is that a pony avatar you got there, Achiro? Yeah, I like... He's got the purple hair like we did with this guy. That's the purple haze right there. That's the new hotness. People are blowing me up about the purple haze. You'd think they'd never seen purple before. At least not that vibrant. It actually, it photos well. It's got a cool sheen to it. Okay, so did I get everybody? I've got Aspie, Kat, Dustin, Greg. Can't forget Greg. We took him out of the penalty box. Hachiro. Matt, and then I added Cowboy, Chris, and Curtis. Wait, and who was the other guy that was on earlier and I'm totally forgetting now? And I've lost all my chatters. Wait. Where did my chat screen went blank? Oh wait, there it is. Okay. How do I look back on who was here? I feel like that's a job I should give to my moderator. Matt? Who else did we have? Oh, Tony. Tony Fiddlesticks. Okay. Alright, we're going to do 2 4-packs. How's that sound? Sound good? Alright, now we got to do this. I wonder if I can... Am I allowed to just play music? Like, is there laws? There's probably some sort of law that says I can't. I'm just going to put on Pandora. Where's, like, elevator music? Oh, you know what? I think I'm muted. Can't do that. Can't do that. Okay, rookie ball. Never mind. When Dustin hooks me up with a better setup, I'll learn how to do that a little better. Sorry, guys. I hope nobody was on headphones. That was hideous. Okay, wait. Oh, you can get flagged. I can get flagged for that? Okay, I don't want to get flagged. That's fine. I can't figure out how to do it anyway without blowing up my system. Stop laughing at me, Greg. Jeez. Okay. All right, I got 1, 2, and we're putting him into the iris. I don't know if this is going to be great for drawing out of, but we're going to find out. Iris. All right. Closing. Shaking intensely. This is one of my favorite print-in-place prints, by the way. If you haven't done the Venus or the Iris, it's a good print. Waka Waka Waka, like Fozzie Bear. Good. All right, Dustin's gonna get me set up, man. He's got my music. I got a DJ. I got a moderator. Now all we need's entertainment. Okay. Are we ready for the first, it's not annual, we're going to do this more than once a year, the first ever Repkord Livestream giveaway to my most loyal late night owl fan club. Okay, this is completely unbiased and random, I swear. I am not looking. We'll leave it one more shake for good measure. And then I'm going to hold it up here, and we are going to draw in front of the camera, and our first person is... Look at that! Achiro! Congrats, buddy. That's some filament coming your way. Okay. Oh, you can use I can use music. I just can't monetize if it's... I'm not monetizing anyway. I don't even know. That's something I'd still have to learn. Look at that. Boom. Achiro, winner number 1. Good on you. Okay. You will have to DM me somehow later how to get it to you. I need your address or whatever. Well, hey, man, you had a 1 in 10 shot. So those are good odds. Those are good odds. All right, let's see. I wish I had a drum roll. Okay, here we go. Winner number 2 is... Dun, dun, dun. Oh, my gosh. The guy has a golden horseshoe up his butt. Greg the Great wins yet again. Somehow that just doesn't feel satisfying. I'm kidding, Greg. Congrats. Yes, you can message me on Twitter, Achiro FPV. Absolutely. Are you following me? Do you need to follow me to direct me? I think I need to be following you, or you need. I'll follow you. I'll throw you a follow so you can DM me. What, dude? Curtis is back. All right. All right. Well, hey, you know what? We'll do it again. It gives me another excuse to do it again, and I'm happy to do it, and it helps keep my office a little bit more tidy and stuff, so we'll do it. Listen, it's not rigged, Matt. Be nice, Matt, and maybe I'll bring you some treats. You never know. You never know. I'm going to throw in Hachiro and Greg. I'm going to throw in a cleaning kit, too, because I'm that kind of guy. And everybody else, let's do it again soon, and I'll do this again. I'll give you another chance, and it's fun. It's fun, right? And then maybe next stream we can get a little bit more into some of the stuff that we didn't talk about today. Building up some stuff. If you got some other ideas, I want to hear it. But it was a lot of fun. I had a blast. Thanks for staying up with me. I'll try my best to get some good footage and stuff of what goes on tomorrow. We'll see. Some more action over at Adoptabot, and hopefully I can get another one of the unicorns cranked out before my daughters wake up and start brawling over the one I've got right now. So with that, this is Pooch, Repkord, signing off. Good night, everybody.